subscribe, like the video, and, if possible, join Patreon. But if you don't have much money, you can support the channel by watching the novels on euroaudiobooks.com. Remember that you can participate in the polls so that your favorite novel gets published for free.
Synopsis. What era is it? And you are still playing ancient magic. To keep up with the times, come and join the era of magic internet. The more users there are, the stronger the magic power knight can harvest. Here, Forum Friendship, the Dark Guild discusses conspiracies and tricks openly. Knowledge sharing, the 10 great magic guides of the Holy Spirit kindly explain magic knowledge to you. Live battle, regular guilds fight against evil, and the world watches. Guild commission, online commission, convenient and fast. With the emergence of one section after another, Knight's internet magic has brought about an era of change in the magic world. Dragon-killing magic? God-killing magic? Demon-killing magic? Click to download the magic applet. Everyone can master it. When all living beings are caught by a net, Knight steps onto the long steps to godhood. 001 Guild newcomer. Magic is called the internet. Excuse me, what's your name? Knight. Mr. Knight, did you just say you want to join our guild? In the reception room, Mira Jane smiled gently. She was very happy that a new wizard was willing to join Fairy Tale. Yes. Are you a wizard? I think I am. Knight shrugged, and a hint of helplessness appeared on his handsome face. What kind of answer is this? Mira Jane blinked blankly. What kind of magic are you good at? I'm sorry, I don't mean to pry into your privacy. I just need to register the necessary information to join the guild. You may not have heard of my magic. Is it the lost, ancient magic? Mira Jane was a little curious. Ancient magic always symbolizes power and mystery. It has special powers that ordinary magic does not have. In her guild, there is a wizard who masters the Fire Dragon Slayer magic, which is a kind of lost ancient magic. My magic is called the internet. Internet. Mira Jane tilted her head carelessly, with a beautiful question mark on her face. This is not a question of whether she has heard of it or not. She can understand these words individually, but what do they mean together? Fearing that the other party would be psychologically traumatized, Mira Jane raised an index finger, and her smart little head immediately associated it with. Is it a magic similar to spiders spinning silk, using silk threads to weave a web? It sounds like a very powerful magic. You are too gentle. So cute. I want to marry her home. Knight shook his head, no. Mira Jane, who guessed wrong, looked apologetic and whispered, sorry, I really haven't heard of it. It doesn't matter. It's incredible that you have heard of it. Knight took out a small cloth bag from his pocket, opened the cloth bag, and took out a silver-white ring from it. This is my magic. Knight handed the ring to Mira Jane. Just put on the ring, and you will understand. Mira Jane looked at it carefully with a gentle gaze. The beautiful ring was made of some magical metal that she didn't know much about. It was very light in the palm of her hand. Any finger will do. There will be no danger. Don't worry. Knight added, I understand. Mira Jane's smile was like a candle, warm and kind. She put the ring on the middle finger of her left hand. Her finger was white and slender. Is this a magic item? Mira Jane tried to input a faint trace of magic power into the ring. It is a magic item that requires magic power input. It is very well made. In this world, magic has long been integrated into people's lives. There are countless kinds of magic items, some of which can be used by ordinary people. Magic items that require magic power input can only be used by wizards. Miss Mira Jane, you should be able to see it now. Knight acted as an explanation, but the sentence was not finished yet. Mira Jane suddenly covered her mouth in surprise. Lines of floating words appeared in front of her. Magic words? It seems not. I can't sense the magic of the words. She whispered in surprise. Welcome to the world of the internet. Please enter your internet nickname. Nickname cannot be changed for the time being. Please choose carefully. Nickname. Mira Jane looked up at Knight, and Knight smiled back. On the internet, a nickname is another name. I suggest not to use your real name. Use a pseudonym. Mira Jane followed the advice and decided to use the departing traveler as her nickname after a little thought. Nickname has been confirmed. The words floating in the air burned up in the flames. The flames that appeared out of thin air also had no smell of magic. Mira Jane felt it was amazing and didn't understand how it was done. Even if it was a fake magic flame, like an illusion, there should be a slight flow of magic. After the words disappeared, a translucent interface appeared in front of her. It was covered with words and pictures. Mira Jane was attracted by one of the lines of words. I'm going to list all the magic in the entire magic world, and now invite like-minded friends to participate. You can use your finger to click on the content you want to see. Knight's voice came, and Mira Jane followed his instructions and tapped with her index finger. Then the screen jumped. Thanks for the invitation. I'm in the Celestial Spirit world. Just finished fighting Celestial Spirit King. I don't know much about magic. I'll add it below. Is the poster crazy? Magic is all-encompassing. You can't sort it out even if you spend your whole life. It's a pure waste of time. I'm borrowing this post. I'm the legendary black magician Zerif. I'm now trapped in a secret place. Give me 100,000 J. When I break the seal, I will teach you the invincible ancient magic. The above is a liar. Don't believe it. Mira Jane's eyes trembled slightly as she read the content of the post carefully. When she saw the name Zerif, she was shocked. But then he said it was a liar. These are all. They should be liars. Knight touched his chin. Zerif is the legendary ancestor of the black magician. I don't know how many years ago he died. In fact, they were all messages he left with his trumpet. Mira Jane was the first one. But Mira Jane didn't know and thought that the people in the post were real people who got the ring and entered the internet like her. What a magical magic, a bit like telepathy magic. The difference is that your internet is text communication. After browsing a few more posts, Mira Jane gradually understood everything. After a pause, she frowned again. No, it's different. It doesn't seem to be real-time communication. There's also a message on it about Cardia Cathedral distributing free food. That was last week. Cardia Cathedral is located in the city center and occasionally distributes free food, but the time is not fixed. Knight acted as a guide for novices. There are other sections. Look at the upper right corner. There is also a daily check-in function next to your name. Check-in? Mira Jane clicked on the daily check-in with doubt. Sign in successful. You are ranked 101st today and get 10 points reward. A line of text popped up and disappeared quickly. What are points? I set up the internet currency. You can get it by signing in every day. The higher the ranking, the better the reward. Just like the J coins we usually use. Mira Jane suddenly realized and was a little happy. Just click your finger to get 10 points. Mr. Knight, you'll go bankrupt if you do this. She felt that she had made money, just like she was lucky enough to pick up money. Knight thought, children who have not experienced the baptism of the internet are so easy to fool. Yes, I'm almost bankrupt. Mira Jane asked with a smile. Since it is currency, can points be used to buy things? Now you can only use it to play games. Play games. Look here, there is a games section. In order to teach her how to use the internet, Knight had to get up and sit next to Mira Jane and guide her step by step. Enter the games section. Mira Jane saw 3 different names. Happy Landlord, Mahjong Shopping, Fruit Ninja Landlord, Shopping, Ninja. It looks very interesting at first glance, and Mira Jane clicked on Mahjong with great curiosity. Matching. Matching successful. The screen changed and entered the Mahjong interface. As a newcomer entering for the first time, the system first introduced the rules. Mira Jane was very smart and understood it after just one look. The game began. Then, she was addicted to it. 1 round, 2 rounds, Mira Jane bit her red lips, and her delicate face faintly revealed a hint of unyielding. It was obviously a very simple rule. Why couldn't she win? She was not convinced. 3 rounds, 5 rounds. After a long time, Mira Jane held her face and blushed a little. Yes, I'm sorry, I've lost. The system prompts, you don't have enough points to continue the game. Knight watched her play Mahjong from the side, and her blood pressure was a little high. 100% of the shots. If you don't lose everything, who will? Is it true that the human computer setting is too strong? Mira Jane was a little embarrassed by his gaze. Mr. Knight, can you give me another 10 points? I can buy it from you with J coins. Mira Jane was not convinced and vowed to win. Knight was speechless at that time. Is this going to evolve into a Krypton gold sow? Humans are indeed creatures who like to play games. He spent a lot of time developing 3 games. This step is right. 002, Tremor Fruit X, Super Magic, Tremor, finally I won once. Congratulations. The sky gradually darkened. After night, generously transferred 1,000 points to Mira Jane's account with developer privileges. She finally won her first time in the blood-shopping mahjong game. Knight did not charge any money. At this stage, the internet has just started, and it is a bit too hasty to cut leaks at this time. Mira Jane decided to treat Knight to a meal to express her gratitude. It's so late. After the excitement of winning, Mira Jane noticed the sky outside the window and said with some self-blame, "Mr. Knight, I'm sorry to have delayed you for so long. It doesn't matter. I'm also very happy that you like my magic." Knight shook his head and said, "And you don't have to be so polite. Just call me by my name." Mira Jane smiled and nodded. "I understand, Knight. Anyway, welcome to Fairy Tale. The magic in this world is generally divided into two types: possession system and ability system. Knight's magic obviously belongs to the former and needs to be used with magic props, so it is called the possession system. In contrast, the ability system, which is the magic that wizards use to strengthen their own magic power through practice, is called the ability system. The internet is a new type of possession magic. Mira Jane had a hunch that this might bring great changes to the magic world. She took out a magic seal. "Knight, where do you want to engrave the guild's emblem?" "The back of the hand." "What about the color?" "Can you choose the color?" "Blue." Knight took off his gloves and showed her the back of his left hand. He took the magic seal and pressed it lightly, and a guild emblem was immediately engraved. "It's a little late today. I'll take my leave first." "Okay, please be safe." After saying goodbye to the poster girl, Knight left the guild. He rented an apartment near the guild for 70,000 J per month, with hot water and furniture, which was a very cost-effective price. Back home, put hot water in the bathtub. Knight couldn't wait to open the system. Task: get an internet user. Reward: Superman-type Tremor Fruit. Mission completed. Do you want to receive the reward? Yes. Detected that this is not the world of One Piece. The reward is being converted. Superhuman-type Tremor Fruit. Ability-type Tremor Magic. A huge amount of magic knowledge washed over Knight's brain. He mastered a new magic in an instant. Standing by the bathtub, Knight closed his eyes tightly and opened them after a long time. Raised his right hand. A faint white halo wrapped around his fist. In order to adapt to the rules of the world, the devil fruit has become a kind of magic. The only difference: the fruit ability consumes physical strength, while magic consumes magic. Knight's mouth corners slightly raised, revealing a satisfied smile. Magic: he has the least shortage. His current magic power is not outstanding. But all internet users consume a small amount of magic when using the internet. 99% of it is used to maintain the internet itself, and the remaining 1% will enter Knight's body along the network cable and then be stored. 1%, it doesn't seem like much, but as long as there are enough people using the internet, his magic power will reach an incredible level. Host: Knight, Chinese name: Zhou Qingfeng. Age: 20 years old. Race: human. Magic: magic. Internet: Tremor. 2 magics, 1 holding type, 1 ability type. The internet has not yet developed combat applications, but the power of the Tremor Fruit is comparable to super magic. Knight took off his clothes and stepped into the bathtub to take a bath. Above ordinary magic, there is super magic. The full name is super superior magic, which is much more powerful than ordinary magic. With the power of the Tremor Fruit, it is easy to set off a tsunami, trigger an earthquake, and destroy a town. It is enough to be called super magic. While thinking, a new task popped up. Task: keep the number of active people above 80 for 3 consecutive days, and the average daily online time reaches 2 hours. Task reward: 1,000 rings. 80 daily active users, 2 hours online per day. It doesn't seem difficult. Lying in the bathtub, Knight pinched his chin and thought. The Fairy Tale Guild has a lot of members, at least a few hundred people. If each of them is given a ring, it would be easy to achieve the daily active user target. However, he only has 100 rings. From the Novice Gift Package, including Internet Magic, is also a reward of the Novice Gift Package. One of them he wears himself, with the highest developer privileges. Of the other 99, one was given to Mira Jane, and 98 can be used for distribution. This means that he has to distribute all the rings to ensure that 80% of the users spend 2 hours on the internet every day for 3 consecutive days. It should be no problem. Considering Mira Jane's performance today, Knight thinks this task is not a big problem. Speaking of Mira Jane, Knight immediately opened the internet and searched for the ID traveler departing. Online, playing Mahjong. Knight smiled. This task is not 100% complete. He doesn't need to do anything at all. Click your hand and choose to add a friend. At the same time, Fairy Tale, the girls' dormitory of the guild. Unlike the 70,000 J per month apartment rented by Knight, the girls' dormitory is 100,000 J per month. As a former S-class wizard, Mira Jane is not short of money, so she naturally chooses the girls' dormitory with better accommodation conditions. At this time, Mira Jane was also taking a bath, playing Mahjong while taking a bath. She was a little in love with this game. Suddenly, a small red dot appeared on the private message in the upper right corner of the interface. Mira Jane clicked on the red dot, and a website prompt popped up. User Sigma Man added you as a friend. Do you want to add the other party as a friend? Message: I am Knight. Sigma Man is Knight's internet nickname? What does Sigma mean? Mira Jane blinked her beautiful big eyes. It turned out that there was a function to add friends, which she didn't know at all. After choosing to agree, a chat interface popped up. Sigma Man, still playing Mahjong? Departing Traveler, how do you know? Departing Traveler, huh? Does your magic have a surveillance function? After sending this sentence, Mira Jane's face turned red. She was taking a bath, so she was seen naked, right? She quickly shrank her body into the bubble bath, with only half of her face emerging above the water. Sigma Man, friends can see whether they are online. If they are online, the brackets behind will indicate what the other party is doing. Is that so? Mira Jane murmured softly, fumbling to open the friend list, and indeed saw the only friend. Sigma Man, online idol, whom Mira Jane breathed a sigh of relief, and her 10 slender fingers typed quickly. Travel on the way out. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. I'm sorry. Sigma Man, I'm very sad. You actually doubted my character. Traveler on the way out. I'm really sorry, Knight. What should I do to make you forgive me? Sigma Man, treat me to 2 meals? Actually, I'm not angry. I just rented a house and I don't have money to eat. Mira Jane was stunned for a moment and typed funny. Traveler on the way out. I know. I will treat you to a meal. The guild has a lot of commissions. I will help you keep an eye out. Sigma Man, thank you, Madam Poster. Seeing the address of Madam Poster, Mira Jane couldn't help but smile brightly. Some people used to call her that, but chatting without seeing each other through the internet gave her a completely different feeling. Sigma Man, the other 2 games are also quite interesting. You can try them. Sigma Man, I'm going to rest first. Good night. Mira Jane was startled and replied quickly. The departing traveler, good night. See you tomorrow. Then he stared at the chat interface stupidly, waiting for 2 minutes without a reply. Mira Jane puffed her cheeks a little angrily, but then she thought Knight should be asleep. Other games. Just as a round of Mahjong ended, Mira Jane followed the advice and opened the evil happy landlord. Then it continued until late at night. Knight was not going to sleep, but to work. He got up from the bathtub, wiped his hair and body, put on a bathrobe, and then sat at the desk. Start the magic programming interface. Writing code before crossing, and still writing code after crossing. Innate code, holy body. Knight complained about himself, saying that his programming skills were okay, and he had won awards in college competitions. Compared to using computer code, the programming development function of Internet Magic is much simpler. Develop a library function. Allow users to scan and upload the contents of magic books. It will be easier to learn other magic in the future. After a night of fighting, he went to bed at 3 in the morning. When he woke up the next day, it was already noon. He didn't even eat. After a simple wash, Knight went to the guild. He really had no money to eat, so he quickly went to find the poster girl to eat. 003 newcomers are all monsters Knight traveled through time a month ago. He landed in Magnolia City. That is, the city where Fairy Tale is located. After getting the internet magic from the novice gift pack, Knight worked odd jobs while studying magic. At the same time, thanks to the free food distributed from time to time by Cardia Cathedral, he was able to save some money to rent a house. Now that the house is rented, he has less than 10,000 J left in his pocket. He can be called the poorest traveler. However, things are getting better now. Joining Fairy Tale and becoming a wizard, he can take commissions to make money. At noon, Knight walked into the guild, and the noisy atmosphere hit him. Rather than being a wizard guild, it was more like a noisy tavern. The guild hall was very wide, enough to accommodate 4 or 5 basketball courts. A large group of people surrounded the bar and kept yelling at Mira Jane. "Hey, Mira Jane, play with it for a while. Let me use that ring too. Please, Mira Jane, it's too much for one person to enjoy it alone." This magic called the internet looks very interesting. Faced with the siege of the crowd, Mira Jane could only smile awkwardly. "This is Knight's ring. I can't give it to you without his permission. When Knight comes, I have to return the ring to him. If you want to try it, go and ask Knight." The crowd did not give up. Someone asked curiously, "Is the new guy not here yet? I really want to meet him." Knight walked towards the bar and said as he walked, "After the first input of magic power, the ring will be bound to the holder. Others cannot use it. In other words, it recognizes magic power, and everyone's magic power is different. You are finally here, Knight." Mira Jane stood up and greeted him cordially. "You don't have to return the ring to me. I'll give it to you as a return gift for inviting me to dinner." "Really?" Mira Jane's eyes sparkled. Seeing the main character coming, a group of people immediately surrounded Knight. "Hello, newcomer. My name is Macau. I am Levy McGarden. Welcome to Fairy Tale Knight. I am Kana." "Hey, newcomer. Do you still have that kind of ring? Can you give me one too? Don't be partial. I can buy you a drink." The closest one was a carefree woman holding a bottle of wine in broad daylight and seemed very curious about the ring. Knight heard many familiar names, but most of them were unknown minor characters. However, since they're seniors in the guild, it means that everyone is a magician. As long as he wears the ring and uses the internet, it will provide him with magic enhancement. They're all top-notch leaks. "Good afternoon, seniors. I am the newcomer Knight. Since we meet for the first time, I will give everyone a magic ring as a gift." Facing the enthusiasm of the crowd, Knight took out a cloth bag and gave rings to everyone one by one. The people who got the rings thanked happily and then went to the side to surf the internet. 98 rings. Most of them were gone in a blink of an eye. Mira Jane came over with a plate of delicious food after seeing everyone leave. "Knight, you must not have eaten yet? This is for you." Knight thanked him without hesitation and sat at the bar to enjoy. "So many magic rings are given away. You don't have money to eat." Mira Jane looked helpless. "Why do you feel sorry for me?" Knight chuckled and said, "Don't you want to treat me to a meal? Don't worry. As long as you come to the guild, I will treat you to a meal," Mira Jane said with a smile. And when Knight pushed the remaining rings in front of her, she asked in confusion, "What are you doing? If anyone wants it later, please give it to them." The guild has hundreds of members, but not so many people came today, and there are still 20 to 30 rings left out of the 98 rings. Knight simply gave the remaining rings to Mira Jane, and the poster girl distributed them. Make sure the rings can be delivered to every leak as soon as possible. "You want to give it all away?" Mira Jane was stunned, not quite understanding Knight's behavior. "I think the biggest feature of the internet is sharing." "Sharing?" Knight answered while eating delicious food. "Yes, sharing. For example, I want to look up a magic book about photographing and scanning. I need to go to the library to borrow it, and I need to search by category, which is very troublesome. So, I plan to add a library to the internet, allowing everyone to freely upload books, whether it's a magic book or an adventure novel. At that time, as long as you have a ring, you can quickly find the content you want by searching anytime and anywhere. Knowledge will not disappear because of sharing. On the contrary, it will spark more wisdom in communication." Mira Jane was radiant and admiring. Sharing knowledge benefits the public. "So, more people need to enter the internet? It's a great dream. I was developing the library module last night, but I ran into some trouble." Knight sighed and said, The picture I imagined is that the person holding the ring can use the scanning function of the internet to scan the books page by page and then upload them to the magic network. You don't know scanning magic? Mira Jane smiled softly. There's a library on the second floor of the guild. There should be the magic book you need. Can I go up? No. Only S-class wizards can go up to the second floor, Knight. You're still a newcomer now. Mira Jane covered her mouth and chuckled. But I will help you find it. Wait a moment. As she said that, she turned and went up to the second floor. Knight watched her disappear on the stairs and then glanced at the notice board beside her inadvertently. The notice board posted various commissions. Wizards who wanted to accept the task only needed to tear off the task commission letter. There was also a notice board on the second floor where there were much fewer commissions, at least all S-class tasks. Next, I have to make money. What task can make a big profit? Knight got up and walked to the notice board. The content of the commission was quite diverse. Cleaning up the Snow Mountain Bigfoot, repelling a group of thieves, finding lost important documents, escorting a caravan to the destination. All kinds of commissions. The Wizard Guild does the work of a jack of all trades. The rewards for these commissions range from 50,000 to 600,000 J to 200,000 to 300,000 J. The rewards are a bit low. Now I want to open a business and enjoy the generous rewards for 3 years. I remember there was an S-level commission that was very simple. Go to a cursed island, lift the curse, and restore the local residents to normal. If I remember correctly, the reward is 7 million J, and a key to the Zodiac is also included. Knight pinched his chin and thought. He remembered the plot of Fairy Tale. Although he forgot some details, he did not forget the general main process. This S-level task is very simple. Just destroy the moon. With his shock magic, it is just a matter of one punch. One punch can earn 7 million J. It's a pity that it's an S-level task. I can't take it. Knight frowned, thinking in his heart whether to ask Mira Jane to open a back door for him. But with the character of the poster girl, she obviously would not agree. A newcomer going on an S-rank mission, risking his life. Mira Jane would definitely think so and stop him. Ahem, ahem. Are you the newcomer, Knight? Suddenly, a feigned cough came from behind. Knight turned around and lowered his head. He saw a short old man who stretched out his hand to greet him. Hey, newcomer, I'm Makarov, the guild leader. Makarov Dreyer, one of the 10 holy wizards. Good afternoon, guild leader. Knight naturally recognized the other party. I heard about you from Mira Jane this morning. Makarov looked kind and kind. Your internet magic is very interesting. This is a brand new magic. Did you develop it yourself? It's a genius. He was generous with his praise. When he saw Mira Jane's demonstration in the morning, even he was amazed. He instantly realized the pioneering and revolutionary nature of this magic. Genius. A true wizard genius. It brings people closer together. Even if they are in different countries or cities, they can still communicate with each other on the magic network. Internet, this name is great. Makarov was full of praise. Thank you for the compliment, President. I am just standing on the shoulders of giants. Knight shook his head. His internet magic was given by the system. He just created a forum and 3 small games on its basic framework. No need to be modest. Makarov smiled and said, I heard from Mira Jane that you were a little short of money. Your magic has no combat ability. It may be difficult to complete the commission. Hearing this, Knight's heart moved and he immediately said, President, I actually know another kind of magic. Huh? You know a second kind of magic? Makarov was stunned. At such a young age, he not only created a new and incredible magic internet, but also mastered a second one. Knight nodded. I think I can handle S-level tasks. Can you promote me to an S-level wizard as soon as possible? Makarov suspected that he had heard it wrong. A newcomer who just joined the guild is already thinking about becoming an S-level. It's good to have this ambition, but S-level missions are not a joke. A moment's misjudgment will cost you your life. Makarov warned in a deep voice. He didn't want a genius wizard to die young. In fact, he was even willing to privately fund Knight and give him enough money to live on so that he could continue to study internet magic with peace of mind. What is your second magic? Earthquake. Knight demonstrated it to Makarov on the spot. He lightly hit the atmosphere with his right fist. Boom! The atmosphere cracked like a mirror, and in an instant the ground shook. Makarov didn't stand firmly and fell to the ground with his buttocks. He was stunned for a moment. The newcomer is not only a genius, but also a monster? 004 President Makarov. You don't want to... The sudden earthquake caused the guild building to shake violently. The wizards in the hall were browsing the internet, and the violent shaking of the tables and chairs was shocking. What happened? Earthquake. Ouch. My head hit the corner of the table. It hurts. What happened? President? When did you come? The wizards who were addicted to the internet shouted and finally found Makarov. The earthquake came quickly and went away quickly. Knight deliberately controlled the power to minimize the damage. This is my second magic, the shock magic. Quiet. Makarov stood up and patted his waist, coughing awkwardly. Everyone shut up immediately. But the next second, Macau reacted and said in astonishment, Knight, did you do the earthquake just now? I'm showing another magic of mine to the president. Knight nodded. Sorry, I scared you. Everyone was speechless on the spot. Earthquake magic? Hey, newcomers are all monsters. I suddenly thought of guild arts. Is there another one? Guild arts? His super superior destruction magic, Crush, is indeed as strong as a monster. Knight, is your earthquake magic also super magic? Dozens of unbelievable eyes looked at Knight. My goodness, the guild has another monster level one. Quiet. You guys quickly pick up the overturned tables and chairs. Makarov snorted and scolded. When he looked at Knight, he couldn't hold back his smile. Knight, you were deliberately suppressing the power of the earthquake just now, right? Good boy. You're much more sensible than that idiot guild arts. That guy always causes huge damage when he comes back, causing me to be scolded by the council from time to time. Speaking of guild arts, Makarov was so angry. A few troublemakers in the guild demolished a few houses every now and then, and one day he might destroy a town. Knight was happy in his heart. President Makarov was also very miserable. Every time Natsu and his friends caused great damage, he was the one who was scolded afterwards. I can feel that your shock magic is very powerful. If you use it with all your strength, how far can it reach? Makarov asked seriously. Knight thought about it and answered truthfully. He hoped to get the qualification of S-Class Wizard as soon as possible, and then go to Sol the Moon with one punch and make a lot of 7 million J. If you use all your strength. If it is a tsunami, it can flood Magnolia City. If it causes an earthquake, it can make the whole city fall apart and become a ruin. As soon as these words came out, Makarov was speechless on the spot, standing there in a daze, and didn't say anything for a long time. Other wizards in the guild moved tables and chairs while eavesdropping on the conversation. When they heard the answer, they couldn't help swallowing their saliva. Confirmed. Another guild arts. No, more terrible than guild arts. President, Knight saw Makarov was silent. About the qualifications of S-Class Wizards, come with me to the second floor. Makarov was helpless and had a headache about this. He did not doubt the truth of what Knight said, but there was a special assessment process for the granting of S-Class Wizards. As the president, he cannot just let people go through the back door, otherwise what would happen if others followed suit? Knight followed Makarov to the second floor of the guild. Compared with the first floor, the second floor was very quiet, with no one. Makarov took people to the notice board and pointed to the 3 commissions on it. These are the tasks that the S-Class Wizards of the guild can accept. There are still 3 commissions left. The first commission was to destroy the Dark Guild Plow Ox Horn and capture the president alive. Commission reward, 9 million J. The second commission was to find the ruins of Gonison and retrieve a magic book that recorded lost magic. Commission reward, 8 million J. The third commission is to go to Galena Island and lift the local curse. Commission reward, 7 million J with a Zodiac key. That's it. Knight took a fancy to the third commission at first sight. He glanced at the other 2. Plow Ox Horn? A dark guild he had never heard of. Looking for a magic book? Without any information, he was not interested at all. President, I think this task is just right for me. Knight smiled lightly and tore off the third commission on the spot. Makarov opened his mouth and was stunned at the time. He brought Knight up just to let the other party see the difficulty of the S-level task, so that he would give up. As a result, He became more interested. Wait, Knight. Makarov hurriedly stopped him. President, you don't want me to take ordinary commissions and accidentally destroy 1 or 2 towns, right? Knight blinked and said with a natural black belly, I am not proficient in my shock magic, and sometimes I can't control the power well. You are very proficient. It can cause an earthquake, but it doesn't destroy the guild. You still say you're not skilled? Makarov blew his beard and glared. He thought he was an obedient and good boy, but he didn't expect him to be another troublemaker. Even if you say so, rules are rules after all. If you want to become an S-class wizard, you can only wait until the day of the assessment. Since the president said so, I can only go downstairs to take ordinary tasks. Alas, maybe I won't make any money, and I will have to pay for it when the time comes. Knight sighed and turned to leave. Wait, Makarov said helplessly. I'm afraid of you. I don't want to listen to the chattering of the meeting. When I thought of letting Knight do ordinary tasks, looking for a kitten lost in the city and then demolishing a city, chilling. This kind of thing has happened before. On the contrary, those troublesome seniors have done similar things. Criticized Natsu by name. Fortunately, Natsu was not in the guild these 2 days. Otherwise, if these 2 people get along, I can't imagine what will happen. President, do you agree? Knight stopped happily. No. To become an S-class wizard, you must abide by the rules of the guild, Makarov said seriously. But if you perform an S-class mission, you can be given a break and allowed to try once. After a pause, he said, As for the commission in your hand, if you fail, don't make such a strong request next time. Understood, President. I promise to complete the task. And I was very satisfied with this. It didn't matter to him whether he was an S-class wizard or not. The real goal was to make 7 million with 1 punch. With 7 million, he didn't want to do any tasks. He just wanted to be lazy in the guild every day. Sitting at home, you can cut leaks and your magic power will rise. At this time, Mira Jane walked out of the library on the 2nd floor with a magic book in her hand. Huh, Knight? President. Mira Jane blinked in confusion, not understanding why Knight was on the 2nd floor. Knight saw the magic book in her hand and took the initiative to walk over. Thank you. You're welcome, Mira Jane said. This magic book should be able to help you, but remember to keep it well and return it when the time comes. Understood. Knight put away the magic book, turned to Makarov and said, Well, President, I'm going to carry out the mission. After that, he hurried downstairs. Mira Jane's eyes were blank and suddenly realized something and hurriedly said, President, Knight's magic has no combat power and is not suitable for. His magic is very strong, and it is undoubtedly super magic. Makarov said calmly, Mira Jane, I'm leaving for a while, and I'll leave the guild to you for the time being. Are you going to attend the president's regular meeting? Mira Jane was full of doubts. No. Makarov sighed helplessly. This kid is carrying out an S-level mission alone. I'm not at ease. I will follow him quietly. If Knight died in the mission, he would feel bad in his heart. After all, he agreed. When he encounters life-threatening situations, he will come out to save people. Well, perfect. By then, Knight will be grateful, understand his good intentions, and successfully change from a troublemaker to a good boy. Ginger is still spicy with age. Makarov thought proudly. 005, Fairy Tale, Love Each Other, chat group that afternoon. Knight used the little money he had left to buy a map and confirm the location of Galena Island. The island is located overseas, and he needs to take the magic train to the port city of Harjan first. Then take a boat to Galena Island. It's not too far, but it's a pity that Knight's wallet is already so dry that it's not far from 3 digits. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Knight passed the ticket gate and boarded the train for his journey. The magic technology in the fairy tale world relies on magic and magic crystals. The magic train under his feet can't be compared with the high-speed rail, but is much faster than the green train. It is expected to arrive at 7 or 8 o'clock that night. Knight found his seat. He likes the window seat. The journey is long, and he didn't bring any gifts, just a magic book. There are not many passengers in the train he is in, only a dozen people. Knight even doubts whether he can recover the operating costs. Or maybe the magic crystal as an energy source is cheaper than imagined. Retracting his gaze, Knight opened the magic book and read quietly in his free time. This is a magic book about photography magic. It explains in detail the principles of this kind of magic and how to learn it. It is not complicated, at least not as complicated as advanced mathematics. Mathematics, if you don't know it, you don't know it. If you don't understand it, it's like listening to a book from heaven. This magic book is obviously simpler. At least Knight can understand it without anyone explaining it. He was fascinated by it, and the train started slowly without him noticing. Suddenly, the ring on his finger flashed for a moment. Someone sent him a private message. Input magic power into the ring, and a translucent interface immediately appeared in front of his eyes. Departing traveler, Knight. Departing traveler, are you going to execute the S-level commission on the second floor? Departing traveler, I heard from the president that you are going to die. It is indeed Mira Jane. Yes, she's my only friend. Knight smiled slightly. What a gentle and kind girl. Sigma Man, thank you for your concern. I am very strong. Mira Jane replied in seconds. Departed traveler, I already know that you have mastered the second kind of magic. I heard from the guild that it is super magic. Departed traveler, you didn't tell me yesterday. Departed traveler, this has nothing to do with strength. S-level missions are very dangerous. You must be careful. Departed traveler, by the way, the president is following you secretly. If you are in danger, you can shout for help from the president. Makarov didn't know that Mira Jane turned around and sold him out. Knight was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect Makarov to follow him. He was touched. He looked up and scanned the train compartment, but didn't find him. That's right, the old man is one of the 10 holy wizards, and he won't be easily discovered by him. Sigma Man, don't worry, if I encounter difficulties, I will ask the president for help. Departed traveler, you are really... Don't mess around like this next time, understand? Afterwards, Knight saw a prompt. Departed traveler invites you to join the chat group. Fairy tale, love each other. Do you agree? Huh? Even a chat group has been set up? I agreed immediately. As soon as I entered the chat group, the information flashed in front of my eyes like a waterfall. Macau, did Knight really go on an S-level mission? Please buy me a drink. Our poster girl said so. No one can run faster than me. The test given to him by the president? Even if he has mastered super magic, it is a bit too radical to challenge the S-level right away. What to draw today? I think there is something between Knight and Mira Jane. Have you noticed? I don't need to explain the meaning of giving a ring, right? Dance with me, but everyone gave it. What do you want to say, read us? What to draw today? Please call me by my nickname online, Idiot. Then the chat content went awry. Knight was speechless. As expected, humans all like gossip, and so do wizards. Traveler who has set out. Don't talk nonsense. It will cause trouble for Knight. The ring is just a magic prop to enter the internet. Traveler who has set out. I still have more than 20 rings here. Those who don't have them can come to me to get them. They are given by Knight. Everyone should thank Knight. Wakaba, the poster girl of our guild, is anxious. Smirk.jpg. Traveler who has set out. Mr. Wakaba, I want to tell your wife that you were smoking again recently. Smile.jpg. Sorry, Lady Mira Jane. Macau. Speaking of which, the mission of Galena Island will pass by Harjan. Yesterday morning, Natsu asked me about the fire dragons. I heard that the fire dragon appeared in Harjan, so he went there. Macau. Maybe they can meet again. Knight, who was diving, couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. Natsu and Harjan. Fire dragon? Is this the beginning of the plot? At this time, the poster girl sent another private message. Traveler who is set out. Sorry, Knight, don't mind it. People in the group are talking nonsense. Sigma Man, I mind it very much. I can't get better without 5 meals. Doghead.jpg. When Mira Jane saw the first sentence, she was shocked and rolled her eyes after reading the second half. She sat behind the guild bar, pursed her lips, and typed quickly. Traveler who has set out. If you come back safely, I will treat you to the best food. Smile.jpg. These people learn really fast, and they have already mastered the use of expressions. Knight returned a pin expression and threw her aside. He no longer paid attention to the gossip in the group and continued to read. Or magic interested him more. At 7 o'clock in the evening, the train finally arrived at Harjan. Knight walked out of the station slowly with a magic book in his hand. The port city was brightly lit at night. It's so late, there shouldn't be any boats going to Galena Island. I have to wait until tomorrow. Knight touched his pocket, bought a map and a ticket, and had more than 3,000 J left. So, where should he stay tonight? No. Compared to where to stay, what about dinner? At noon, he should ask the poster girl to prepare a lunchbox for him. Mistake. Walking in the city at night, Knight thought about how to eat a free meal elegantly. Can magic performances be used to offset the meal expenses? It's impossible to spend money, and only free meals can barely maintain life. Then he walked into a nice-looking restaurant on the street. He found a seat near the table, and as soon as he sat down, Knight suddenly found a bunch of cherry-colored short hair and a blue-skinned cat next to him. One person and one cat feasted on the sumptuous dinner on the table. Knight whispered, "Igneel." Suddenly, the movement next door stopped abruptly. Natsu still had a piece of meat in his mouth. "Happy, did you hear, Igneel?" "I heard it, love." The blue cat answered vaguely, holding a fish and chewing it. "Forget it. It's an illusion." Natsu continued to concentrate on eating. A figure sat across the table. "Good evening, both of you." Knight smiled and said, "Want to know where Igneel is? Please treat me to a meal." "Brothers, I got another meal." Natsu and Happy looked up at the same time. "Who are you?" "You mean Igneel?" Knight took off his left glove lightly and turned the back of his hand towards the two of them. On it was a blue guild emblem. "I'm a wizard of fairy tale. Knight, nice to meet you." Natsu, Happy. 0061 Punch Tsunami. It's a real guild emblem. Happy stretched out his little paw and touched the back of Knight's hand and said in surprise, "But we haven't seen you before." "I just joined the guild last night. I'm a newcomer." "Of course you haven't seen me before. So you're a newcomer." Natsu believed it on the spot and then asked excitedly, "Do you know where Igneel is?" "I know. Please tell me, please." Plop. Natsu knelt on the spot and did a standard earth stepping. "Let's eat first." Knight's eyes twitched. This guy really didn't mind being embarrassed. The meal was very pleasant. It wasn't his own money. Knight didn't bother to be polite with Natsu and ordered a few popular dishes. During the chat, the two people and the cat became more familiar with each other. Half an hour later, Knight left the restaurant with a full stomach. "Thank you for the treat, Natsu." "You're welcome, Knight. I'm full too." Natsu touched his stomach, then asked as he walked, "Can you tell me where Igneel is now?" Knight thought about it and didn't tell the other party the truth directly, mainly because he couldn't explain the source of the news. But he could fight in a roundabout way. After all, it would be a bit unreasonable not to tell someone after eating a big meal. "The Igneel you're talking about is a real dragon, a fire dragon, right?" "Yes, I know where to find it." "Where?" Natsu asked hurriedly. Knight's ring flashed a light slightly, and a translucent forum interface suddenly appeared in front of the two of them. "Internet, huh?" Natsu looked at the forum page curiously. "What kind of magic is this?" "The magic I created. You can ask questions in the forum, and netizens from all over the world will answer your questions kindly." Knight is going to open a small account, and when Natsu asks, he will tell him the truth. Impersonating a secret boss in the magic world. Really? Natsu was a little skeptical. "How should I ask the question?" "When we return to the guild, we will go to Mira Jane to get a ring." He explained how to access the internet and demonstrated some basic functions of the internet to her in person. When Natsu saw the Fairy Tale Love Each Other chat group, he was stunned. What a powerful magic. Can we chat from such a distance? Unconsciously, the two walked to a high wall, and the cool breeze at night blew from the sea, bringing a refreshing feeling. By the way, at this time, Happy saw a cruise ship gradually leaving the port. During the day, the fire dragon said that he would hold a party on the ship. It must be that ship. When he heard the ship, Natsu didn't care to look at the group chat and covered his mouth and was about to vomit. Knight quickly stepped back to avoid vomiting on him. Fire dragon. He followed Happy's gaze and saw a luxury cruise ship. "AI, we came here to find Igneel, but the fire dragon is a fake and uses charm magic to deceive people." Fire dragon is Natsu's nickname. Pretending to be a member of the guild. Natsu, he is pretending to be you. Knight shook his head. "If I remember correctly, Lucy was also tricked into boarding the ship." "Huh? Really?" That's right. That guy pretended to be me. Natsu finally calmed down the feeling of vomiting and reacted belatedly. I was suddenly a little angry. I thought he was pretending to be Igneel. Damn it, he actually cheated under the name of fairy tale. How can a human pretend to be a dragon? And I was helpless. As expected of the protagonist of a hot-blooded comic, he was a little bit lacking in brains. I'll get him back. As a member of the guild, Knight did not stand idly by. He clenched his right fist, and his fist was wrapped in a layer of milky white halo. The next moment, it suddenly bombarded the atmosphere. Seaquake, boom! The cracks in the atmosphere spread like a spider web and shattered like a mirror that could not bear the weight. Natsu and Happy were both shocked. Then they saw a wave thousands of meters wide rising from the far end of the sea level at the end of their vision. The waves rolled towards the port, getting higher and higher as they got closer. Wow! Happy screamed. The tsunami is coming. Before the tsunami came, the wind and waves arrived first. Happy was blown away by the strong wind and quickly grabbed the plaid scarf around Natsu's neck. Natsu, Knight, help! The kitten shouted for help. Natsu stretched out his hand to block the strong wind and said in shock, Knight, your magic is so strong. The luxury cruise ship that was sailing was swept back to the coast by the huge waves. With a bang, the cruise ship rushed onto the land, hit the wave-breaking wall, and broke into two sections. At the same time, Makarov, who was hiding in the dark, immediately held his forehead. It's too much. I knew it would happen. The city was almost flooded. Apart from the headache, he had to admit it from the perspective of the 10th Saint Mage. Night shock magic is indeed a bit too strong. That is to say, the child's magic power is not strong enough. If he has the magic power of the 10th Saint like him, I dare not imagine what will happen with this punch. On the coast. Damn it, what happened? How could a tsunami suddenly appear out of nowhere? A group of men came out of the damaged cruise ship with injuries all over their bodies. Porla held the wave-breaking wall and looked forward with annoyance. A blonde woman in a burgundy evening dress also climbed up from the ruins. Celestial Spirit Mage, did you do it? What did you do? Just now on the boat. He was about to use hypnotic magic to hypnotize the other party, but was seen through by the other party at a glance. He even wanted to summon Celestial Spirit to resist. Then, the tsunami suddenly appeared. No matter how I think about it, it was all this woman who did it. It hurts. Lucy rubbed the bruise on her forehead, not knowing what happened or why a tsunami suddenly appeared. Suddenly, a familiar voice sounded. Lucy, why are you on this ship too? Happy. Lucy looked up and saw a blue cat with wings flying in the sky, and was immediately surprised. Then, she saw Natsu standing on the breakwater, and another handsome guy she had never seen before. Knight held a magic book in one hand and pointed at Porla below with the other. Is this the fire dragon you were talking about? Porla looked up and noticed the two of them, snorting. Yes, I am the fire dragon of fairy tale. I think you should mind your own business. You are a fire dragon. Then who am I? Natsu's face sank, revealing the guild emblem on his right shoulder. I am Natsu, the wizard of fairy tale. Let me take a good look at your face. What? Porla widened her eyes. The younger brothers behind him turned pale when they saw the guild emblem. No, boss, it's the real thing. I seen have heard of it. Cherry-colored short hair, dragon scale-like plaid scarf. It's a real fire dragon. The younger brothers were terrified and wanted to run away. After hearing Natsu's identity, Lucy also covered her mouth in surprise. Natsu is the wizard of fairy tale. Love, Happy flew down and landed on her shoulder, asking for credit. By the way, Knight is also the tsunami that saved you. Lucy was done by Knight. Knight? Who? Lucy was stunned, and then noticed the black-haired handsome guy next to Natsu. Is it him? Knight noticed her surprised gaze and smiled back. Suddenly remembered the additional reward for the commission, a key to the Zodiac. For him, it seems useless. If I sell it to Lucy, how much is appropriate? This is the eldest daughter of a wealthy family. You must not be polite. If you ask for less, do you look down on the Heartfilia Consortium? 007, don't move here. I'm going to buy an orange. The enraged Natsu had already started fighting with Porla. Knight did not intervene. He jumped lightly from the breakwater and landed beside Lucy. "Hello, I'm Knight. My name is Lucy. Thank you for saving me." Seeing the handsome guy approaching her, Lucy hurriedly thanked him and looked at him curiously. "Aren't you going to help? There are a lot of them." Knight glanced and saw Natsu beating up Porla and his gang. Happy flew to Knight's shoulder and said confidently, "Natsu is very strong and will not lose to those fakes. Knight, just watch carefully." Knight reached out and touched the blue cat's head. He is the dragon slayer of fire, who transforms himself into a dragon's physique to counter the dragon's dragon-slaying magic. A lost magic, dragon-slaying magic? Lucy was extremely surprised. As expected of the wizards of fairy tale, each one of them was so powerful. It was the magic to counter the dragon and the tsunami, which was indeed different from that fake. "Lucy, are you a celestial spirit magician?" Knight seemed to have just noticed the bunch of keys in Lucy's hand, 3 gold and 3 silver. Celestial spirit magic is an ancient magic that signs a contract with celestial spirit and uses the key as a medium to summon celestial spirit from the other dimensional space, celestial spirit realm, to fight. Celestial spirit magicians are very rare and belong to the possession system. The disadvantage is that without the key, you can't use magic. Huh, yes. Actually, I'm carrying out a commission, and one of the reward for the commission is a key to the Zodiac. Knight showed a business-like smile like a businessman and said in a friendly tone, "It seems to be useless to me. If you want, I can sell it to you." "Zodiac key?" Lucy opened her eyes wide and nodded in surprise. "Really? Are you willing to give it to me?" "Knight! Miss from a rich family. How did you hear sell as give?" "Sell," he had to remind with emphasis. Lucy Knight, Natsu Fire Dragons, Iron Fist Porla Natsu Knight, Happy Knight, Lucy Fairytale. Lucy was slightly startled, then smiled happily. "Yes, wait for me." Several people ran away one after another and disappeared into the night in a blink of an eye. After a while, Makarov appeared on the breakwater, his fist hardened. "Natsu, I'm the one who got scolded." It was already past 9 o'clock in the evening, and the magic train stopped running, so it was temporarily impossible to go to Magnolia. Knight and others who escaped from the scene found a hotel to stay in. Lucy lay in the bathtub, recalling the scenes of today, and couldn't help but smile. Tomorrow I can join Fairy Tale, and I can also buy a Zodiac key from Knight. Today is really my lucky day. Although I encountered a fake and was deceived by it, the final result was good. I met 3 fairy tale wizards. Happy, humming a song. After taking a shower and changing into pajamas, it was still early for bedtime. Lucy took out a diary and recorded the happy day. On the other side, in the next room, Natsu and Happy were already fast asleep. Knight sat in front of the window, reading the magic book in the moonlight outside the window. The next day, early morning. Harjin train station. "Knight, aren't you going back to the guild with us?" Natsu asked curiously. "I still have a commission. I will go back after completing the commission." Knight waved goodbye to the 2 people and the cat. "Really? Then, see you at the guild." Natsu grinned, turned around and got on the train, then laid down and vomited on the spot. Lucy waved to Knight. "Goodbye, Knight. Don't forget the key." Knight just smiled. Watching the train go away, Knight turned around and left the station. Next, it's time to complete the commission. Arrived at the port, looking for a boatman willing to take him to Galena Island. There were many boats at the port, but they all shook their heads when they heard that they were going to Galena Island. It was not until Knight revealed his identity as a wizard that a boatman was finally willing to take him there. On the boat to Galena Island, Knight began to recall the stories that happened on the island. About 3 years ago, a group of wizards moved a frozen demon to the island. It was a forbidden magic called absolute ice purity. A great wizard named Ur sealed the demon at the cost of his own body disappearing. For 3 years, the group of wizards on the island continued to use the moondrop magic to melt the ice. Under the influence of the moondrop ritual, a layer of evil air barrier was formed above the island. The existence of the barrier caused confusion in the memories of the residents on the island. They were originally demons, but they mistakenly thought they were humans and were cursed. So, They sent a commission to Fairy Tale. Solving the commission was also very simple. Just destroy the barrier. Knight was not interested in what the group of wizards were going to do and did not want to meddle in other people's business. You just need to go to the island and punch, then take the reward. Simple. What an easy S-level mission. Unfortunately, he only knows this one S-level commission. Are you a wizard who wants to go to the island to solve the curse? Suddenly, the boatman standing at the bow rowing the boat said, "My name is Bobo, and I am a resident who escaped from the cursed island. My name is Knight. Don't worry, it will be solved soon." Knight vaguely remembered that this person seemed to be the only villager on the island who did not have memory confusion. Can you really solve the curse? Seeing that he was full of confidence, Bobo couldn't help but say, "When you set foot on that island, disaster will also befall you, and it's not too late to turn back now. So, you should learn more magic. If you don't learn magic, life is full of curses." Knight chuckled and explained to him the existence of the evil spirit barrier. After hearing this, Bobo was stunned. It turns out that the source of the curse is so simple. You didn't even go to the island. How did you know? Bobo was half believing and half doubting. Compared to these, you should row the boat seriously. The sooner you get there, the sooner I can finish my work. Knight didn't say any more nonsense, took out the magic book, and continued to read. He had already read half of it. When he finished reading this magic book, the library would be built soon. Seeing that he had a mature look in his heart, Bobo was silent for a moment and chose to believe at once. Immediately, he stopped talking and increased the speed of rowing. A few hours later, the boat arrived at Galena Island. Knight got off the boat and turned back to say to him, "Don't move here, I'll go buy an orange. 008, get rich overnight. Phone Yang's glasses, August 10th, orange. Orange." Bobo stayed on the boat and was stunned for a moment. "Oh, I said it wrong. I mean, stay here and don't move. I will soon solve the curse. I need you to send me back when I go back." Knight looked at the situation on the shore and asked again, "Which direction is the village?" "Over there." Bobo pointed in the direction, his face solemn. "Mr. Knight, I can't stay here for too long. I feel very uncomfortable. Please try to leave before dark." Knight waved his hand, found the right direction, and walked away. After passing through a dense forest, we finally saw traces of human activities. A village came into view. There were tall wooden fences around the village and a very tall wooden door in front. "Is anyone there?" Knight shouted loudly towards the village. Soon, the wooden door was lifted up, and the village chief walked out from behind the door with a group of villagers. "I am the wizard of Fairy Tale, Knight, and I have come here to accept the commission." "Who is the client?" "I'm a client, the village chief Mocha. I just received the news that the commission was accepted yesterday. And you're here today?" "Very efficient." The village chief was wrapped in a gray robe and a veil to cover his face, with only his eyes exposed. "Are you alone? Can you solve the curse by yourself?" The village chief Mocha was a little distrustful when he saw Knight was alone. Knight took off his left-hand glove, showed the emblem to confirm his identity, and said straight to the point, "No need to chat. I have fully understood the curse you mentioned on the way here. Before helping you remove the curse, have you prepared the reward for the commission?" The village chief was still a little uncomfortable with Knight's swiftness. I wanted to explain the curse, but a sentence was stuck in his throat. Of course, as long as you can solve the curse, the reward will be offered with both hands. Then I'll start." Knight nodded and looked up at the sky. It was noon now, the sun was scorching, and looking directly at the sun made him squint unconsciously. The evil barrier is invisible. However, considering the distance and the fact that the evil barrier can cover the entire island, just use the magic power of one heart. Knight thought secretly. His current magic power is 1.5 stars, and one heart is equivalent to 2/3 of his magic power. Slowly adjusting his breathing rhythm, Knight concentrated the magic power in his body on a fist. As the magic power flowed, his right fist was shrouded in a faint milky white halo. The strong vibration was compressed in a fist. The villagers looked at each other, not knowing what Knight wanted to do. "Excuse me." The village chief was about to speak. Suddenly, Knight punched the sky. Air shock. Boom. A dull sound rang out of thin air, and then the atmosphere bombarded by the fist began to crack like a mirror. The villagers were shocked and looked up at the sky. What's wrong? What will happen? It seems nothing happened. Whispering. Knight squinted his eyes and looked directly at the direction of the sun, counting down. Vroom. Crack, crack. Cracks appeared above everyone's heads, and the cracks spread rapidly, covering the sky in an instant. The villagers blurted out in shock. The sky is broken? The cracks became more and more, until the moment when they reached the critical value. With a loud bang, the evil diaphragm covering the island shattered into countless crystal dust, drifting with the wind. I remember. Really? So that's what happened. We were originally demons. As the dust fell, the villagers' memories were also revived. A group of people were stunned for a long time, and then they shouted excitedly. Recovered. I remember. When the first villager took off his gray robe and revealed the posture of a demon, the others followed suit. In a blink of an eye, a group of demons with strange looks came into Knight's sight. The village chief also took off his coat, took a few steps forward with excitement, and said, holding Knight's hand, "Thank you very much for your help. I didn't expect that the curse that troubled us could be solved so easily. You are worthy of being a wizard of fairy tale. No need to flatter," as agreed. What about the reward? Knight was not used to the appearance of these demons, and silently withdrew his palm. Although the village chief was a demon, he did not break the agreement like a demon. He immediately ordered the villagers to get the reward. This curse has tortured us for 3 years. At first, we thought it was an infectious disease, and we would turn into monsters at night. We found dozens of doctors, but to no avail. Now I think it's because we're a little inferior to our demon appearance, so we mistakenly think that the human appearance after transformation is ourselves. Some villagers were still a little confused and said to Knight while sorting out their memories, "Anyway, thank you very much for your help." Knight just smiled. Although he looked extremely ferocious, he was very simple in his heart. He was just an ordinary villager, no different from a human. Soon, Knight got the reward for the commission, a magic bank card with 7 million J in it, and a golden zodiac key. Well, my work is done, bye. Mr. Knight, you have come a long way. Why don't you stay and attend the banquet together? The villager who brought the reward asked to stay. Knight waved his hand without looking back and smiled and said, "I appreciate your kindness. If the curse appears again later, you can report it to the guild, and I will handle the after-sales." The ritual of the moon drop is still going on, and Knight is not sure whether the evil film will appear again. Back to the coast where they came from, Bobo stayed in place as agreed, and when he saw Knight return, he couldn't help but ask in confusion, "What are you doing? It has been solved, please send me back." Bobo had a dull expression on his face. It was less than an hour before and after, and it was solved? However, I did see the picture of the sky breaking just now. He touched his head and murmured, "The uncomfortable feeling seems to be gone. Did you really solve it? That devil's curse. Son of the village chief, after sending me back, you can go back to the village to see it with your own eyes." Knight chuckled and stepped onto the boat. Just after Knight left, a man wearing a mask sat cross-legged on a tall tree near the village. Beside the man, a magic crystal floated in the air. He looked at the villagers celebrating the lifting of the curse and couldn't help but smile. It's really a gorgeous magic to break the sky. He reached out and took off the mask, and with this action, the man turned into a woman. Even the voice was the same. However, the wizard of fairy tale didn't come to the temple to investigate and just left? Interesting people. When I returned to Harjan, it was already 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Knight, who became rich overnight, decisively bought a ticket, and before the train arrived, he walked into a magic supplies store. "Customer, this is what you want?" Feng Yang's glasses. The boss took out a pair of magic glasses from the counter. "Yes, this is it." Knight took the glasses and put them on. Feng Yang's glasses, a magic item that allows people to read books very quickly. I was short of money before and couldn't afford it. Now that I have money, I must buy one for myself. With it, it is convenient to read magic books. After testing the function, Knight immediately asked, "How much does it cost?" 150,000G. It's expensive. Knight complained in his heart that he had worked illegally for a month before and only earned more than 100,000 J. Now that he has money, he will buy it. After paying, Knight happily left the magic shop and boarded the return train. With Feng Yan's glasses, he finished reading the remaining half of the magic book in an hour. After swallowing a magic book, he had a general inspiration for photography magic. Immediately activated the internet programming function and began to improve the library. At 9 o'clock that night, the train arrived in Magnolia. Knight did not go to the guild and went directly back to his apartment. When he arrived at the door of his house, he was surprised to find that the house next door had a new tenant. Knight! Lucy, who was moving, opened her eyes wide. Knight raised his eyebrows. What a coincidence, you live here too. 009 Magic Internet Alpha 0.2 version update. Knight didn't expect Lucy to live next door to him. But thinking about it carefully, it makes sense. The apartment he found is already the cheapest place to live near the guild. There are cheaper houses, but they're a bit far away. Knight, when did you come back? Lucy was also surprised. Didn't you say you were going to complete the commission this morning? It's already been done. Knight saw her carrying the gift. Do you need help? Lucy was startled and nodded happily. Thank you. Hearing this, Knight was a little helpless at the time. He was just polite and said it casually, but the eldest lady was not polite. He had no choice but to help Lucy move the gift and clean the new house. Fortunately, there was not much gift and the house was small, so it was done in a short while. It's cleaned up. Thank you, Knight. Lucy wiped the sweat from her forehead and poured Knight a glass of water enthusiastically. You're welcome. We'll be neighbors from now on, so it's only right for us to help each other. Knight noticed the silver ring on Lucy's left hand. Did you get the ring successfully? Yes. Lucy stretched out her hand to show the ring and smiled. I think I'm very lucky. These are the last few rings. 98 rings have been distributed. Knight's heart moved, and he looked at the task progress. Task: keep the number of active users above 80 for 3 consecutive days, and the average daily online time reaches 2 hours. Task reward: 1,000 rings. Today's active number: 99 people. Today's average daily online time: 7.05 hours. Total number of registered users: 100 people. And I was often shocked by the online time of this group of animals. More than 7 hours a day. Don't these people have to work? What's even more exaggerated is the number of active users. In addition to himself, the other 99 people who got the rings logged in at least once, including Lucy in front of him. Yesterday, today, 2 days have met the task requirements. If tomorrow goes well, he will be able to complete the task the day after tomorrow. By the way, suddenly, Knight took out a golden key from his pocket. This is the reward for the commission. Lucy's eyes lit up and she drooled. The key of Sagittarius. Zodiac, the 9th house, Sagittarius. Hey, wait, it's not yours yet. Knight quickly took back the key and didn't let Lucy snatch it away. I haven't paid yet, Mississippi. How much? Lucy knelt beside the tea table, her hands supporting the tabletop, her upper body very close, her beautiful face almost touching Knight. Her big eyes were full of 2 words. Want. Let me think. 10 million. Lucy was dumbfounded on the spot. Knight didn't know how much the key of the Zodiac was worth, but there were only 12 in the world, so it should be very valuable. Wait, 10 million. Lucy repeated stupidly. She bought a silver key in Harjan's magic shop. The price of a celestial spirit of Canis Minor is 30,000 J. She didn't know the price of the golden key, which was a priceless treasure. Knight, I don't have that much money. Can you give it a discount? No. Lucy didn't give up, ran to Knight, hugged his arm, and burst into tears. Please, cheaper Lord Knight. Knight felt a soft touch on his arm, and the corner of his mouth twitched slightly. He actually wanted to corrupt him with his SX appeal. 8 million. Cheaper. Lucy pursed her lips, stared at Knight, and stretched out 2 white and tender fingers. 200,000. Knight quickly pulled his arm out of her warm embrace and rolled his eyes. Why don't you rob it? I only have 200,000 J on my body. All for you. Sell it to me, okay? Lucy wanted it very much and pestered him. Knight knew that she ran away from home and didn't expect Lucy to come up with a large sum of money at once. He immediately suggested, "You can write an IOU. We live so close, so from now on, cooking a dinner will cost 3,000 J, and the money for the ingredients will be on me. How about this?" Lucy's clever little head calculated frantically. 8 million J, one meal a day counts as 3,000 J. So the answer is 2,667 days. 7.3 years. Okay, I agree. She nodded like pounding garlic. Anyway, she has to cook, whether alone or with 2 people. And Knight pays for the ingredients, so she can just eat Knight's dinner, which can save a lot of money. Profit. Lucy thought happily. Knight, the idiot, must not have thought of it. It's an appointment. Here you go. Knight then handed the golden key to Lucy. Write the IOU now, and I haven't eaten dinner yet, so you go buy groceries and cook. As a creditor, she will start to exercise the creditor's power from now on. She really knows how to order people around. Lucy complained in her heart, "It's so late. Where could she go to buy groceries?" However, she couldn't hide the smile on her face after getting a golden key. "Got it. I'll write it now. Thank you, Knight." She happily ran to write the IOU. After writing it, she didn't go out to buy food, but simply heated up the bread. Knight didn't despise it, took the IOU, and got up and left after eating. "Remember to buy food tomorrow. Don't forget, and ask me to reimburse you for the food later." Yes, Lucy sent Knight out the door, slammed it, and couldn't wait to close the door, then happily took out the Sagittarius key to admire it. Sure enough, I'm lucky I didn't spend a penny, and I can still eat Knight's dinner in the future, hee. Lucy's sly laugh came from behind the door. Knight shook his head, glanced at the IOU, and thought, "Go ask your dad for money when you have time." The next day, Knight came to the guild early. There were not many people in the hall, and the poster girl Mira Jane was earlier than him. "Knight, you're back," she greeted in surprise. "I came back last night." "Good morning, Mira Jane." Knight sat down at the bar. Now that he has money, he can start a good life of slacking off in the guild. "Commission? Whoever wants to do it can do it. Haven't you eaten yet? I'll go prepare breakfast for you." Mira Jane smiled and left the sentence, turned around, and went to the kitchen. After a while, she returned with a hearty breakfast. As agreed, "I'll treat you to the best food in the guild. It's really good, very delicious." Knight tasted it without hesitation, with a face full of praise. "Who is the chef?" "The cooking skills are really good. I made it." Mira Jane smiled. "Thank you for the compliment." "You made it." Knight looked at her in surprise. It's okay for her to be beautiful, but is her cooking skills so good? I really want to marry her home. By the way, Knight. Mira Jane remembered the commission and asked, "How is the commission going?" "Of course it's done. A very simple S-level mission." Knight briefly mentioned the matter of Galena Island. "It's great that we didn't run into any trouble." Mira Jane breathed a sigh of relief. But how could there be such a huge, evil energy that condensed into a thin film above the island? Of course it was because of the moon drop ritual. Knight didn't mention this. If he had, given the poster girl's personality, she might have asked him to deal with the moon drop. He didn't want to go. He just wanted to play badly now. Anyway, the demon was dead, and it didn't matter if the ice melted. "By the way, hasn't the president come back?" "No." Mira Jane shook her head. At this time, a scream sounded behind her. "Ah, I lost everything again. Why is it that every time I call the landlord, other people's cards are better than mine?" It was Wakaba's voice. As if he had just noticed Knight's existence, Wakaba suddenly ran over. "Knight, you're back." "Good morning, Mr. Wakaba." Knight smiled and greeted. Wakaba grabbed Knight's hand with a serious face. "Knight, I have a once-in-a-lifetime request. Please agree to it." "What is it? Can you give me more sign-in points?" Wakaba burst into tears. 10 points, I lost them all in a flash. "I can't play landlord today. What's the point of my life?" "Knight!" The poster girl covered her mouth and chuckled. She had a lot of points, more than 700. However, she could understand Wakaba's feelings. It was really painful to lose all the points. "Increase the sign-in reward." Knight thought about it and nodded. "I understand the point system should indeed be modified. Opening the game without points will dampen the user's enthusiasm for surfing the internet. It's better to separate the game currency and the point system. For example, 1 point can be exchanged for 1,000 happy beans. At the same time, increase the sign-in reward 100 points per day. That is 100,000 happy beans, enough to play freely. I think so. 100,000 will not be lost in the morning, right? Wait a minute, I'll make some changes now. Immediately, Knight didn't even bother to eat breakfast and started the programming tool to start making changes. Milligan and Wakaba watched from the side. After watching for a long time, they looked at each other and saw 3 words in each other's eyes. I don't understand. It's very simple to modify the point system. Knight changed it in a few seconds. Not only that, he also built the framework of the library last night, and there is only one step left. Integrate the library function into the forum. In order to encourage users to upload books, he set up a system that will reward different points for uploading books that have not been included in the library. The rarer the book, the more points will be rewarded. So it's done. It's done. I'll release the update of the new version now. Knight chuckled and pressed the synchronization button. Wakaba immediately opened the internet. Sure enough, he saw the difference. Magic Internet Alpha 0.2 version update announcement. The first thing that appeared was not the forum, but a notice. 010, your secret boss in the wizarding world Voldemort is online. The internet suddenly lost connection. You too. Did something happen tonight? So the magic is ineffective. Early in the morning, there was a commotion in the guild hall. As Knight pressed the synchronization button, all users who were surfing the internet were disconnected. Fortunately, there were not many people, so the volume was not loud. Knight stood up and said to a few people, I just updated the version. Everyone just need to reconnect. Everyone was surprised to find Knight. Wow, Knight, when did you come back? I didn't notice it at all. Good morning, Knight. After greeting enthusiastically, they quickly activated their rings. Knight shook his head and sat down to eat breakfast again. Wakaba stood aside and read the update content carefully. Mira Jane also curiously opened the internet. Magic Internet Alpha 0.2 version update announcement. 1. Added the library module to the forum. After this update, all users can use the internet's built-in scanning function for free to scan and upload books. The uploaded books will be stored in the Magic Network for users to check, and each check will consume points. Users who upload books will receive points rewards. For specific rules, please click the Details page. Details. 2. The daily check-in reward has been increased, and the basic reward has been increased from 10 points per day to 100 points. 3. Added game-specific currency, Happy Beans, to the game section. 1 point can be exchanged for 1,000 Happy Beans. Happy Beans cannot be reversed for points. 4. Optimize the page. Now it is more beautiful. 5. Fixed a small number of program errors. 6. Added new chat emoticons. There are quite a few updates. However, except for the first 3, the rest are just to make up the numbers. Knight, my points are still 0. After reading the announcement, Wakaba clicked on his personal account and found something wrong. You have already signed in today. Knight replied helplessly, Don't worry. It will be 100 points starting tomorrow. What should I do today? I can't play landlord. My life is over. Is your life only about playing cards? Knight complained in his heart and suggested, Now points can be obtained by uploading books in addition to signing in. As soon as this was said, Wakaba had no time to act. Several people in the guild suddenly stood up and ran to the guild library as soon as possible. There are many books in the library. First come, first served. Wait, count me in. I want points too. A group of people ran faster than anyone else, and the hall became empty in a blink of an eye. It was obviously me first, these guys. Wakaba immediately followed. Really energetic, Mira Jane said with a smile. For points, they are really more active than work. After a while, someone else came to the guild and found that there were only Mira Jane and Knight in the hall, and immediately suspected that they had walked into the wrong door. Huh, is it a festival today? Did everyone go to watch the fireworks? They all went to the library to upload books. Mira Jane replied. The few people who just came and showed a blank expression, and when they understood the reason, they also followed to grab points. After that, several more waves of guild members came, and none of them could escape. Mira Jane held her forehead and said, It would be great if the work was so active. You can change the reward for the task commission to points and give me the money. Knight couldn't help laughing, and Mira Jane couldn't help but roll her eyes at him. After breakfast, Knight also turned on the internet and entered the library section. In just a short while, there were already dozens of books. It seems that the function is working properly. Knight nodded secretly. As long as it can run, don't change it randomly. Turning around and browsing the forum, with 99 real people joining, the activity of the forum has not increased. Knight is not surprised by this. Today's users are all members of a guild, and everyone is chatting in the Fairy Tale Love Each Other chat group. The group is now in full swing, discussing the matter of grabbing points. Suddenly, Knight found a new post in the forum. The post was posted yesterday, and the poster was, Natsu, can anyone tell me where unle is? Please. Only 3 replies? Or a reply robot. Knight smiled, and while Mira Jane was addicted to mahjong, he immediately used the background to create a vest. Your secret boss in the magic world is online. Magic Council ERA. This is an organization responsible for maintaining order in the magic world, consisting of 1 speaker and 9 counselors. The main work includes monitoring the actions of various wizard guilds, punishing illegal guilds, and hunting down dark guilds. At this time, the Magic Council, Fiori Kingdom Branch. Makarov sat on the judgment seat and faced the thoughts of 10 counselors. The roar of the counselors came to my ears. Another fairy tale idiot. This time it's Harjan. Most of the port has been destroyed. Makarov, are you listening? Makarov shuddered and quickly turned off Happy Landlord. I am listening. What did you say just now? Commentator. One of them was a woman named Ursha. She chuckled and said, Mr. Makarov, don't be in a hurry to turn it off. What kind of magic is this? It seems to be watching you playing cards. Ahem. Makarov coughed dryly, and his old face turned red. He was really used to being scolded, and he played cards to kill time when he was bored. Seeing that everyone's eyes were locked on him, Makarov had to explain a new kind of magic called the internet. A great magic that will sooner or later trigger a new era of revolution in the magic world. Makarov praised generously. Just now, he saw the emergence of the library function. What does this mean? It means that he is indeed a discerning person, and Knight is a true genius wizard. Hearing this, the judges looked at each other and left their seats and came behind Makarov. It's really curious that a Saint 10 magician can give such a high evaluation. The person who spoke had blue hair and was one of the judges, Zikrian. There was a brown emblem on the right cheek. Let me introduce you. Makarov's tone was proud. He usually came here to be scolded. It was the first time for him to show this group of judges the new magic developed by the children of the guild. He felt quite proud. This is the library. This is a friend. This is a chat group. This is a forum. Makarov randomly clicked on a post, which happened to be a post by Natsu. Can anyone tell me where unle is? Please, the forum is like this. If someone wants to ask for information, someone on the internet will answer it. Makarov pointed to one of the replies proudly. Look at this answer. It's very. Suddenly, he opened his eyes in disbelief, with a look of shock on his face. Voldemort, hello. I just know your question. The unle you're talking about is the fire dragon. Unle, a real dragon, the fire dragon king, right? In fact, there are not only fire dragons, but also Iron Dragon Metallicana, Sky Dragon Grandin. They all suddenly disappeared on July 7th, X777, 7 years ago. To be able to ask this question, you must be the first generation Dragon Slayer. Let me tell you the answer. The Fire Dragon King unle did not disappear. They just hid in the body of the Dragon Slayer. That's all. Makarov's expression was dull. The judges behind him couldn't help but look at each other. Voldemort. Who is this person? 011. Who is Voldemort? Voldemort. Who is this person? I've never heard of him. Dragons hide in the bodies of dragon slayers. Is what this person said true? Mr. Makarov, do you know who he is? Ursha asked the last question. Makarov shook his head and said, the nicknames on the internet are all fake names. The judges looked at each other, and the speaker Crawford Shim said bluntly, why not ask? Makarov seemed not to hear, and fell into deep thought as he looked at Voldemort's reply. Iron Dragon Metallicana. He knew that there was an Iron Dragon Slayer under the command of the regular guild, ruler of Phantom. Could Voldemort be Jose Porla, the president of Phantom? As one of the 10 great wizards of the Holy Land, Jose's magic power is very strong, and the ruler of Phantom, led by him, is also one of the most famous wizard guilds in the Kingdom of Fury. You can ask, the internet looks like a dating pub. The sixth seat of the council. Yajima nodded and said, Little Pony finally got Alzheimer's disease. Makarov had a disgusted expression on his face. He didn't have a good relationship with Jose and really didn't want to communicate with him. However, after all, it was just a guess, so it's okay to ask. Goblin Patriarch, who are you? Knight had just finished writing his answer when he saw someone replying to him. Goblin Patriarch? After a little thought, he quickly guessed the other party's identity. It's the president. The rings issued so far are all from the guild, so it's easy to give a nickname like the head of the family. Knight thought about it and was too lazy to answer. Voldemort's character should remain mysterious, so ignore it. Guess it yourself. On the other side, Makarov could only stare blankly. After waiting for 5 minutes, there was no reply. The panelists behind him felt helpless about this, and they were all very curious about this mysterious Voldemort. The main nickname has the word in it, so he doesn't look like a good person. Maybe he's from the Dark Guild. Ursha smiled. Ahem. At this time, Speaker Crawford Shim coughed. Everyone return to your seats. Now it's time for the court to make a judgment. The members returned to their seats one after another. Bang, bang. Crawford Shim picked up the hammer and knocked it, announcing loudly, Makarov, in view of the fact that the idiots in your guild have caused us trouble again, the judgment is as follows. Go back and write a letter of apology and hand it in within a week. Also, that internet magic is used through the magic ring in your hand, right? Playing cards during the trial time. Now your ring is confiscated. Makarov is used to letters of apology, and he went back to ask Mira Jane to write one. Compared to this, what are you planning? How can I not know? The ring will bind the holder, so it's useless for you to take it. Chairman Crawford Shim's face turned red, seeing the other 9 people looking at him teasingly. He had to change his words on the spot. This time, your guild will be exempted from the fine. Instead, you'll be asked to hand in 10 unused rings. The meeting is adjourned. Bang, bang. After knocking the hammer, Crawford Shim quickly disbanded the thought body, not giving Makarov a chance to speak. He also asked for one for the other counselors, and I believe the other 9 people would support him. To be honest, this internet magic is indeed interesting. Ursha held her chin with one hand and chuckled. That's it, Mr. Makarov. You don't mind giving us a ring? Magnolia. At noon, the guild was bustling again. In the morning, all the books in the guild library were uploaded to the network by the hungry wizards. The efficiency is amazing. That is, the library on the 2nd floor cannot be accessed by non-S-class wizards. Otherwise, the magic books there will not escape the same fate. Mira Jane is qualified to go up, but without the consent of the president, she can't just upload those precious magic books. At this time, Natsu rushed into the guild like a gust of wind and saw Knight in front of the bar. Knight, I know where Igmiel is. Knight looked up at him and heard him continue. A man named Voldemort told me that Igmiel is in my body. Really? Congratulations. But how can I get Igmiel out? I really want to see him. Natsu was like an eggplant hit by frost, wilted, with his chin resting on the bar without moving. You don't doubt what Voldemort said. Knight thought, is it so easy to believe? Fortunately, he was not lying and only told part of the truth. Did I accidentally eat Igmiel when I was sleeping when I was a child? Natsu shuddered, suddenly sat up straight, and looked terrified. Knight didn't know how to complain for a while. Lucy's voice came from behind. I also saw the post. The Voldemort said that it was hidden in your body. Knight looked back and saw the eldest lady's expression full of black lines. As a creditor, he felt that he had an obligation to urge the debtor to work hard and pay off the debt as soon as possible. Lucy, when did you come? I've been here for a long time, Lucy complained. Is my presence so weak? Sorry, I didn't notice. Just chatting with the poster girl. Knight smiled and said, why don't you go to work? As a senior, I have to talk to you. Have you paid off the debt? Lucy immediately covered her face and was speechless. Creditors are great? I know from a group. You just joined 2 days earlier than me. Behind the bar, Mira Jane said with a smile. Don't worry, Lucy. You can get familiar with the environment of the guild. As she spoke, she remembered something and suggested with bright eyes. Yes, Knight, you two are both newcomers. You can team up and work together in the future. Can we team up for commissions? Lucy asked in surprise. Of course, there are actually many teams in the guild. Mira Jane nodded. Hearing this, Lucy's heart moved. Knight is very powerful, and one punch can set off a tsunami. He is also a creditor. If she can work with Knight, Knight doesn't want to work, he just wants to fish. Just as she was about to refuse, the system prompt sounded in her mind. Task: keep the number of active people above 80 for 3 consecutive days, and the average daily online time reaches 2 hours. Task reward: 1,000 rings. Task completed. Today is not over yet. Knight was stunned for a moment, suspecting that the system has a bug. Today is the 3rd day of the mission. He quietly opened the task interface and looked at it carefully. Today's active users, 93. Today's average daily online time, 2 hours. The average daily online time is exactly 2 hours. So, as long as the task requirements are met for a moment, the task is completed? Knight thought, and his rings just ran out. I have another 1,000 rings. How should I distribute them? The people in the guild can't take them. It seems that we have to think of a better way. 012, I'm so popular, there are only a few hundred registered wizards in Fairy Tale, and it is more than enough to give 2 rings to each person. Moreover, most of them are still on missions outside. Knight has not seen Gray, Urza, Elfman, and other acquaintances in the past 2 days. Therefore, he has to think of a different way to distribute the new batch of rings. The target group is naturally wizards with magic power, and the place where wizards gather is the guild. Knight doesn't mind whether it is a regular guild or a dark guild. The guild with the most wizards in the kingdom of Fiore should be the ruler of Phantom, right? Knight thought. For this guild, he remembers a few key figures. The president is a holy 10 wizard. He has 5 S-class wizards under his command. For elements, an Iron Dragon Slayer Gajeel. To be honest, it's a bit bad. I don't know why this group of people dared to attack Fairy Tale in the plot. Who gave them the confidence? Fish Leon. However, this guild has many branches, and there are a lot of wizards. Thinking of this, Knight immediately stood up. I suddenly remembered that the quilt at home has not been dried. See you tomorrow. After saying that, he ran away, leaving Mira Jane and Lucy speechless. Don't you want to team up with me? Lucy rolled her eyes in anger, thinking in her heart that when she cooks in the evening, she will add more salt to him, so that he will be salty to death. Mira Jane couldn't help but smile and comfort. Knight must be in a hurry. Lucy, don't be anxious. Get familiar with the guild first. I will help you keep an eye out for suitable commissions. Thank you, Mira Jane. After a while, suddenly, there was a bang. The door of the guild was roughly pushed open, and a shirtless boy broke into the guild. Lucy thought Knight had returned, but turned around and found that it was not him. The boy had short black hair, a pair of drooping eyes, and a shallow scar above his left eye. Above the most conspicuous right chest is the guild's emblem. Gray, are you back from work? Mira Jane greeted. Where are your clothes? When did they disappear? Gray realized that his clothes were gone and turned and rushed out. Lucy couldn't help but complain. What is this guy doing here? The guild is full of weirdos. On the street, Knight looked down at his feet. Whose clothes are they? Wait, a shout came from behind. Those are my clothes. Knight looked back and saw a young man with his upper body naked. Gray Fullbuster? Do you know me? Gray was stunned for a moment. Although he was a wizard of Fairy Tale, he was not so stupid that anyone could call out his full name when walking on the street. Knight chuckled and bent down to pick up the clothes under his feet. Knight, a new member of the guild. It's our first meeting, senior. I'm sorry to step on your clothes. Knight handed the clothes to the other party and then took out a ring and gave it to him. As an apology, I'll give you this magic ring. Thank you. Gray took it blankly. The new member of the guild was quite nice. You're welcome. Then, senior, you can get busy. Knight smiled and waved his hand, then turned and left. Looking at his back, Gray was completely confused. The quality of newcomers nowadays is really high. It seems that there is a chance to take him to do tasks. Newcomers will definitely have a headache at the beginning about what kind of commissions to accept. At this time, he needs the guidance of his senior. Well, it's decided. Gray put on his clothes and returned to the guild while looking at the magic ring in his hand. Back to the guild, Gray sat at the bar and ordered a glass of juice from Mira Jane. Mira Jane, let me tell you, I just met a newcomer outside. He is very high quality and a very nice person. He is completely different from a certain stinky fire dragon. He also gave me a ring. Is it night? Mira Jane smiled. It must be night. Lucy interrupted in a low voice. Night's ring. Happy was eating dried fish and saw the ring in Gray's hand. Gray met Night. Night gave me a ring again? Didn't you say it was gone? Lord Night, I want a ring too. As if everyone in the guild hall responded to the call, everyone looked over. Gray's hand holding the juice froze in midair, not knowing whether to drink it or not. No, isn't he a newcomer? After meeting Gray, Knight went straight back to the apartment. He took out the map from the drawer and spread it on the table. At the same time, he opened the library on the internet and searched the keyword Phantom Assassin directly. Others need to consume points to search, but as a developer, he can do it for free. Thanks to everyone uploading the guild library early this morning, it is very convenient to search for information now. Soon, some basic information about Phantom Assassin appeared in front of Knight. As an old guild, there's a lot of content about Phantom Assassin. Knight found their headquarters. Comparing with the map, he confirmed the location. It's quite close. Yes, the Kingdom of Fiori is just a small country with a population of 17 million, and the land area is not large. On Earth, this population is about the same as a first-tier city. Let's go now, and we'll be there in the evening. Knight nodded and looked at the new task of the system. Task: have 300 internet users. Reward: Sharingan, 6 eyes, Eye for the Emperor, choose one of the 3. The difficulty of the task is not high, almost equivalent to giving it away for free. The reward is a bit interesting. You can choose one of them yourself. But the Eye of the Emperor, Knight thought, isn't that the eye of the basketball guy? I haven't decided which reward to choose for the time being, so I'll go and distribute the rings first to expand the number of users. Let's go. Knight put away the map and was about to go out, but suddenly felt something was wrong. Wait a minute. Why didn't I scan and upload the map as well? I don't need to carry a map in the future. Sure enough, a wise man will make mistakes. I didn't expect this kind of small detail until I encountered it. Immediately, Knight activated the scanning function, scanned the map in all directions, and uploaded it to the library. Ignoring the points reward, Knight went out to the train station. A few hours later, in the evening, Knight got off the train and came to an ancient city with a long history, Oga City. 013 Rain Girl, Juvia Oga City, a city built on a mountain. The main road starts from the foot of the mountain and extends diagonally upward to the top of the mountain. One of the branches of the Wizard Guild, Phantom Ruler, is located in the city center on the top of the mountain. The guild building is much more magnificent and larger than Fairy Tale. As soon as Knight walked out of the train station, he saw many roadside shops selling umbrellas. Hey, brother who came from afar, do you want to buy an umbrella? Cheap, only 10,000 J. The owner of a small shop waved to Knight. Knight paused, glanced at the colorful clouds at dusk, and looked puzzled. Umbrella? Yes, you will definitely need it. The boss was a middle-aged man, grinning. Is it your first time here? What do you mean? Knight raised his eyebrows. A merchant from the train station? Or a client? The boss was very talkative, and he was also trying hard to sell an umbrella. Seeing that you are in a hurry, you should be a client, right? The mountain is the Phantom branch. He also pointed in the direction of the Phantom Guild kindly. Knight also bought one just for his enthusiasm. Give me one. Okay. The boss took out an umbrella with a smile and explained, the weather here is very changeable. Sometimes it's sunny one moment and rainy the next, and it may rain for several days in a row. As he was talking, a drizzle of rain fell from the sky. Knight, you got a good mouth, right? Look, it's coming. The boss laughed and said, I didn't lie to you. Thanks, boss. Knight shook his head with a smile, opened the black umbrella, held the umbrella handle, and walked towards the Ghost Guild. He probably understood what was going on. Juvia, the Rain Girl, among the four elements. An S-class wizard who is good at water magic. Because of the special nature of this magic, when she is in a gloomy mood, it will rain. It should be said that the wisdom of the people is really endless. You deserve to make money by opening an umbrella shop outside the train station. But a 10,000 J umbrella is so expensive. Knight complained in his heart and was too lazy to bargain with the other party. Stepping on the gradually wet ground, Knight walked slowly into the main road. Since it is raining, it means that Rain Girl Juvia is in this city, or even nearby. Knight noticed the dark clouds in the sky, and the area where it rained was not large. There were many pedestrians on the street, and facing the sudden rain, many people cursed. Here it comes again. I didn't bring an umbrella when I went out today. Find a place to hide. What an annoying rain. Sure. This is the only sentence that you must not say. Rumor has it that if you say it, you will be in big trouble. A group of street urchins came towards him, muttering to each other. Then they ran to the eaves on the street to hide from the rain. Knight slowed down his pace, and he saw a girl holding an umbrella behind several men. Pitter-patter. The girl was still whispering silently to herself. Her voice was like a mosquito. She has blue curly hair, blue eyes, and a blue coat. She was wearing women's high-heeled rain boots on her feet, stepping on the rain. She had a graceful figure and a pretty face, but she couldn't hide her gloomy temperament. She walked lightly in front of several of the scoundrels. The water flow was restraining. Suddenly, several men were wrapped in water balls, and they covered their mouths and struggled in the water balls. But they couldn't struggle. Juvia didn't stop after a magic punishment and continued to walk slowly on the side of the road until she ran into Knight head-on. She moved her eyes away from the rain on the ground and raised her face to stare. "Can you make way?" It turned out to be a handsome guy. The moment she finished speaking, Juvia saw Knight clearly and was slightly surprised in her heart. Seeing a handsome guy, it seemed that her mood became a little better. "Want a wonderful encounter?" Knight smiled faintly and took out a silver ring. "Put it on. You will have what you want." "Is this a proposal?" Juvia was stunned for a moment, then suddenly opened her eyes wide. Now, what should I do? Should I say something?" Juvia's brain was overloaded, her heartbeat accelerated, and she was panicked and at a loss. It was the first time that someone gave her a silver ring on the street. This was undoubtedly a proposal. She stretched out her trembling hand and took the ring from Knight's palm. Wait a minute. It's too fast. We're not familiar with each other yet. We should start with each other's names." After receiving the ring in a daze, Juvia no longer dared to look at Knight's face. She turned away slightly, her tone shy and trembling. She hadn't decided whether to accept it. She was going to go out on a mission today, and she was in a gloomy mood, but she met a handsome guy and proposed to her. All of a sudden, even the sky was about to clear up. "Okay, give me the money." Juvia's trembling voice stopped abruptly. After a moment of silence, she couldn't help but tilt her head, revealing a dull expression of a beauty question mark. "This is a magic ring with magical functions. After wearing it, you can get what you want. It's only 10,000 J, which is already very cheap." Knight moved his fingers and indicated to pay. Just now, he was cheated of 10,000 J by a boss selling umbrellas. This is undoubtedly the fault of the rain girl in front of him. If it hadn't rained suddenly, would he need to buy an umbrella? This money must be earned back. No one can cheat me out of money. He is so poor that he only has 6.85 million J in savings. If he doesn't spend it sparingly, he will have to go back to work soon. Knight doesn't want to work. He just wants to slack off. Juvia straightened her pretty face and stared at Knight with her watery eyes again. She looked at him for a while without saying a word, and her face gradually turned red. What a handsome guy, although she didn't quite understand what happened. Anyway, the other party proposed to her and asked her for 10,000 J. "Do you like rainy days?" Juvia suddenly spoke softly. "I hate rain so much." Knight thought to himself, but nodded and said, "I especially like rainy days. So, can I give you the money?" "Here you go." Juvia silently took out a magic bank card from the pocket of her skirt. "Only 2 million. This is all I have. I'll give it all to you." When getting married, the wife should give the money to the husband, which is what she should do. A trace of doubt flashed in Knight's eyes. What's wrong with this woman? He only wants 10,000 J, and he gave him 2 million for no reason. But it is still impossible to pay it back. The money in hand is his. I won't cheat you. All of these are for you. Knight immediately took out a cloth bag, put 199 silver rings in it, and then handed it to Juvia. I suggest you sell them to other wizards. You can make a lot of money. Knight believes that as long as Juvia wears the rings and enters the internet, she will immediately understand that being a second-hand dealer can definitely make back 2 million. Hearing this, Juvia opened the bag and saw a pile of silver-white rings, and her heart was moved to dizziness. This man actually prepared so many proposal rings to propose to her. Now, she can only agree. I won't sell it. I will keep it well. Juvia's voice trembled with joy, and her inner drama has entered the stage of having children. You must sell it. Knight frowned slightly. Is it okay not to sell it? Each ring represents a leak. The Ghost Guild has thousands of wizards, and they can easily take these rings. Sell them to the people in the guild? Juvia looked a little confused. Why should she sell the engagement ring given to her to the people in the guild? Is it to share the joy of marriage? Although she didn't quite understand, she nodded. I know, I'll go now. As for the wedding ring, just keep one for yourself. Juvia followed Knight's instructions and turned to walk towards the guild. Suddenly, she remembered something and hurriedly turned around and shouted, I don't know your name yet. My name is Juvia. Juvia Loxer. Knight. At this time, Knight was also a little unsure of the situation. Why is this woman so obedient? Juvia remembers it. Juvia silently recited Knight's name and walked briskly towards the guild. After her mood improved, the rain stopped. Knight put down his umbrella, looked up at the sky, and looked a little confused. There was a little accident in the plan. I wanted to foresell the product to the customer, but I met a rain girl and recruited a middleman, and I made 2 million. 014 intrinsic magic. 6 eyes. Dinner with Juvia. This woman. Did she misunderstand something? Knight watched Juvia go away and reviewed the conversation in his mind. He felt that the other party's reaction was not right. He looked down at the magic bank card in his hand, entered the magic power, and there were indeed 2 million J in it. He looked at the silver ring on his finger again. It is indeed easy to cause misunderstandings. She thought I liked her and gave her a ring to woo her. So she reacted like that just now. Knight recalled carefully for a moment, and he was not very sure. In short, it was weird. However, for him, it didn't matter as long as Juvia could distribute the ring to the Ghost Guild. Next, Knight found a restaurant, opened the system while eating dinner, and silently paid attention to the changes in the number of registered users. If it didn't move, he would go to Juvia and get the ring back. On the top of the mountain, in the center of the city, Juvia pushed open the door of the guild. With her appearance, the originally lively atmosphere suddenly became quiet. Juvia, Lady Juvia, didn't you go out on a mission? A female wizard asked in surprise. Juvia walked straight to the other party, took out a ring, and said neatly, 20,000 J, I'll sell it to you. Huh. The female wizard was stunned. A magic ring? It was a very common magic item, but this ring looked particularly good. 20,000 J, give me the money. Juvia repeated. She remembered Knight's instructions, and she could make a lot of money by selling it to the people in the guild. She didn't care about money, but she cared about Knight's instructions. So the price doubled. Faced with the request of the S-class wizard, the female wizard had no choice but to agree. A magic ring worth 20,000 J is not expensive, and it looks good. Although she didn't know what magic was in it, it was worth buying it. Here you go. After paying the money, the female wizard got the ring and happily put it on her finger. She input magic power into it and then froze. Lines of text appeared in front of her and asked her to enter a nickname. Internet. With some curiosity, the female wizard silently entered the name. Real name. Juvia continued to walk to the next wizard and took out another ring from the bag. Before she could speak, the wizard took the initiative to pay. He smiled. Juvia, I'll buy it. Can't I buy it? Then the next one. Juvia did the same thing and sold more than a dozen rings in a row. After that, she felt that this was too slow. So she said loudly to everyone, everyone line up to buy. Hurry up. She was in a hurry to sell out and go back to Knight to take credit. As a girl who lacked love since childhood, Knight's words, "I especially like rainy days," hit her heart. Of course, his handsome appearance accounted for a part of the insignificant reason. Many wizards looked at each other, wondering what Juvia was doing. But if it was only 20,000 J, it wasn't a lot. It was better than seeing an angry S-class wizard. "I want to buy. Can I buy 10? "No. Each person can only buy one." Next, a group of wizards lined up to buy rings. In just 5 minutes, all 199 rings were sold out. Juvia also earned 3.98 million J. She transferred all the money to a new magic bank card and left the guild in a hurry. It was not until she left that the wizards in this branch finally dared to talk loudly. "What happened? Lady Juvia drank too much today." "Hey, everyone put on the rings and input magic power." "Internet, I have never seen this kind of magic. It looks fun. Sign in the upper right corner to get points, but I don't know what they are for." "You can play games." A group of wizards shouted after entering the internet. As they played, they forgot about Juvia and immersed themselves in a virtual world. Restaurant, Windows Seat Night was still waiting for the restaurant to serve his food when he watched the number of registered people soar from 101 to 300 in just a few minutes. As for why it is 101, not 100. The extra one is gray. Task: have 300 internet users. Completed. He was shocked. Juvia's efficiency is comparable to riding a rocket. Not bad, really capable. Knight nodded with satisfaction, obedient and capable. To be honest, he likes this rain girl a little bit. After receiving the system reward, Knight thought for a while and decided to choose the second item, 6 Eyes. The first item is the Sharingan, which is not a direct kaleidoscope and needs to be cultivated and evolved by oneself. The third item is the Eye of the Emperor, which can predict the opponent's movements, whether it is attack or defense. It will be seen through, but this is the eye of the basketball guy. After comprehensive consideration, Knight still chooses the auxiliary 6 Eyes. 6 Eyes are 6 directions, which refer to the 4 directions of up and down and east, west, south, and north. That is, the 4 directions of heaven and earth, and generally refers to the world or the universe. It is also called the Eyes of the Sky. After confirming the reward, the system prompt came. Detected that this is not a Jujutsu Kaisen world. Reward are being converted. Blood talent 6 Eyes, inherent magic 6 Eyes. Instantly, Knight's eyes were hot. Complex magic knowledge flashed in his mind, gradually forming an inherent magic. After a while, Knight opened his eyes, revealing a pair of pale blue pupils with white mist. It was as if the sky was reflected in his eyes, mysterious and deep. Is this the perspective of the 6 Eyes? I'm still a little uncomfortable. 360-degree long-distance vision without blind spots. Even the flow of magic in everything can be clearly seen. Suddenly, Knight saw Juvia. This capable rain girl returned to the street where they met just now and was looking around anxiously. "Are you looking for me?" Thinking of this, Knight got up and left the restaurant. "Where is he?" Juvia stood there, looking for Knight in a hurry. "Behind you." Hearing the voice, Juvia showed joy on her face and turned around immediately. "Lord Knight, you are very capable. I like you a little bit." Knight said admiringly. "Let's go. I will treat you to a meal." Juvia's heartbeat accelerated and her face flushed. "Lord Knight, your eyes?" Juvia was shocked when she suddenly found that Knight's eyes were different from before. "It's a magic I just learned. Don't worry about it." Knight touched his eyelids. The inherent magic means that these eyes are activated 24 hours a day. No danger can escape from these eyes. It can see through everything and see through the magic secrets of the enemy. It can also help Knight to finally manipulate his magic power, so that every bit of magic power can play the greatest effect. And the price? It will continue to consume his magic power. Fortunately, with the help of all the netizens, he has no shortage of magic power. Oh, Juvia felt very happy and followed Knight silently to the restaurant before. Sitting by the window, a sumptuous meal was served soon. Is this a date? Juvia thought, covering her face, and began to feel shy and secretly happy. By the way, Lord Knight, the rings you asked me to sell have all been sold. A total of 3.98 million J. Juvia quickly took out the bank card. This is yours. No need to give it to me. Knight ate it first and smiled. I said you can make a lot of money, right? He doesn't cheat capable partners. Tell me how you sold it first. Juvia immediately told the story of selling the ring in detail. After listening, Knight was speechless on the spot. It was completely forced buying and selling. He was worthy of being an S-class wizard of Phantom. Let's get to know each other again. Knight took off his left glove, revealing the emblem of fairy tale, and stretched out his hand to shake hands with Juvia. I am a wizard of fairy tale, Knight. 015 wake up to 2 magic dinner with Juvia. This girl has a small appetite, and she spent most of her time secretly looking at Knight's appearance. I don't know what wonderful little drama she built in her mind, and she blushed from time to time. When chatting, she would always be attracted by Knight's 6 eyes and stare blankly. Juvia thought that Knight's eyes were very beautiful. Her little movements naturally could not be hidden from Knight's 6 eyes, so she said helplessly, "If you want to see, you can look generously." Huh? Juvia blushed and lowered her head quickly. A little cute. Knight thought that compared with the first time they met, her temperament was completely different. It was raining at that time, and Juvia exuded a gloomy atmosphere that kept strangers away. Then he thought of Mira Jane again, and the poster girl was still cuter. Juvia. Yes, Lord Knight. No need to use honorifics, just call me Knight. Knight took out the cloth bag and pushed it to the table of the rain girl. These are 400 rings. I'll give them to you, as before. Are you selling them to the guild too? Juvia carefully put them away. As long as they are wizards. It doesn't have to be limited to ghosts. Knight doesn't care who the rings are sold to. Except the 200 rings sold before. He still has 400 rings left. He will leave the rest to the guild members. Juvia understands. Juvia will definitely complete the task. She nodded seriously. Her attitude won Knight's trust. Knight smiled and said, "Why don't you just join our guild?" Huh? No. I'm sorry, Lord Knight. Juvia was instantly moved. The Phantom has done Juvia a favor, and only the Phantom accepted me. Knight noticed that she didn't wear a ring on her finger yet, and said, "Aren't you going to wear it?" Ring? This is the first gift Juvia received, and I want to keep it well. Knight suspected that she wanted to worship the ring and burn incense to it every day. It will be meaningless if she didn't wear it. Put it on quickly. I'll teach you how to use the internet. Yes. Next, Knight taught her step by step and explained it in detail. Juvia was surprised. She had never seen this kind of magic. Suddenly, 199 Phantom Wizards poured in, and the forum was very lively at this time, and various posts popped up like mushrooms after rain. Juvia saw someone discussing herself and was asking about the source of the ring through the forum. Many people in the guild didn't buy the ring and wanted it now. What a powerful magic! Juvia noticed the friend function and asked tentatively, "Lord Knight, can Juvia add you as a friend?" Of course. So, Knight got another friend. When adding Juvia, he found that there were 3 other people's friend requests. Lucy added you as a friend. Natsu added you as a friend. Gray added you as a friend. By the way, all of them were approved. After doing all this, Knight looked at the time and stood up immediately and said, "I should go, otherwise I will miss the last train. After these rings are sold, you can give me the money." Got it. Juvia will take the money to Fairy Tale. Then, see you next time. After saying goodbye, Knight hurriedly left the restaurant. Juvia got up and wanted to take him to the station, but the waiter came over and stopped her. "Miss, you haven't paid yet." The next day, Knight woke up in the apartment. I felt the difference as soon as I opened my eyes. The magic power in my body has increased a lot. Host, Knight, age, 20 race, human, magic. Magic, internet vibration, photo, 6 eyes. It's 2 stars now. It feels so good to upgrade after sleeping. Knight got up happily and washed up. He also took a look at the current number of registered people. 483 people. It seems that Juvia has sold another batch overnight. She is really capable. Knight silently gave her a thumbs up. It is estimated that it will be sold out soon. The new tasks have not been refreshed yet. It seems that the system is not used to the speed at which he completes the tasks. After washing up, Knight went to the guild to eat Mira Jane's breakfast. When he walked into the hall, He unexpectedly found that many people got up early today. They were all working fast. Knight walked to the bar and sat down. Good morning, Mira Jane, Lucy. Did they eat gunpowder? After getting familiar with each other, the name changed from Mira Jane to Mira. The poster girl was busy wiping the table. She stopped her work when she heard the words. Good morning, Knight. Mira Jane's smile was as sunny as ever. Lucy on the side held her chin with one hand and flipped through the forum in front of her with her right index finger. They are arguing with the Spectre people. Lucy turned her head and blinked. Do you know anything about the sudden influx of a group of people on the forum? Knight denied. Maybe they picked up a bunch of rings. What a lucky Spectre wizard. The wizards of the two guilds quarreled on the internet. It's right, it's right. This is the internet he is familiar with. The internet without verbal battles is not qualified. He curiously approached Lucy and admired the forum verbal battles. There were many posts, but the content of the verbal battles was too childish, and the wording was too civilized for Knight to adapt. The two sides were fighting for who is the strongest wizard guild in the kingdom of Fiori. Currently, Spectre has the upper hand. Who makes the more people? In the case that you can't run along the network cable to beat people, the side with more people has a greater advantage. The magic internet may really be able to beat people along the network cable. So, the early morning time was spent watching the verbal battles and chatting with Mira and Lucy. The life of slacking off is so wonderful. Near noon, Makarov came to the guild. Knight, I just need to talk to you about something. President, what do you want to talk to me about? The previous S-level mission was successfully completed, and it was done very well. Makarov first praised and then asked for it. The counselors of the council want 10 rings. Do you have any more? Counselors. I was surprised. The news of the magic internet has spread to the council. He didn't know much about this organization that manages the magic world, and the two people who impressed him the most were Zikrian and Ursha. There are still many rings. Knight took out 10 rings and gave them to Makarov, and then took out 290 rings and handed them to Mira Jane. He kept 100 rings for himself in case of emergency. After getting the rings, Makarov coughed lightly and said, I can't let you suffer a loss. These rings will be sold to the judges. I will give you the money then. Knight thought for a while. President, remember to ask for a higher price. The judges must not be short of money. You kid even want to make money from the judges. Makarov shook his head helplessly and then thought, this is all so good. Let those people scold him every day and make a lot of money from them. The old man seemed to think of something interesting and left with a smile. Mira Jane held a pile of rings in her hand, looking surprised. Knight, you still have so many? Are you going to give them to everyone for free? Free? Knight nodded. For his own guild, he didn't want to care about this. Compared to the future, the whole continent will be his leaks, and 100 or 200 rings are just a drizzle. I know. I thank you on behalf of everyone, Knight. Mira Jane smiled, and her beautiful big eyes narrowed into crescents. The poster girl is really beautiful. The online quarrel is still going on, and it is getting more and more intense as the number of participants increases. Neil is eating melons online. Suddenly, a private message flashes. It is a friend request. However, the person he wants to add is not Sigma Man, but the hidden boss of the magic world, Voldemort. Applicant, Ziklin. Message, I am a reviewer, one of the 10 great wizards of the Holy Land, Ziklin. 016, you have been muted by the administrator, departing traveler. Zikrian added Voldemort as a friend. The ring was delivered to the council. So quickly? Teleportation magic? Knight fell in a deep thought. His small account only appeared once. I don't know how he attracted this person. He ignored the other party for the time being and closed the friend request. This is the Guild Hall, or it can also be called the Guild Tavern. There are many people and eyes, and he doesn't want to be exposed. Mira Jane carried a tray and drinks and walked back and forth in the tavern. She was busy for a long time before returning to the bar. She put one hand on her chest and the other hand on her cheek and sighed softly. Knight, the forum is so noisy now. Do you have any solution? Knight was flipping through the books in the library. The ghost wizard was quite motivated and uploaded many interesting magic books. He was checking them one by one to see if there was any interesting magic for him to learn. Hearing this, he looked up. So we need a forum administrator. Forum administrateur. It means literally, and it's easy to understand. If you see a bad post, you can lock it and delete it. If you see an excellent post, you can add it to the featured posts. You can even ban others from speaking. Knight opened the backend system and started to operate it, and said with a smile, I set you as an administrator. Can our fairy tale still be bullied by Phantom? Go. Let the enemy taste the iron fist of justice. Is it great to have more people to get along on the internet? It's about background and authority. Of course, the highest administrator can only ban others from speaking. Only with Knight's developer authority can he block other people's accounts, which makes people happy to get the "your account is gone" package. Mira Jane opened her account and saw a prompt after going online. Sigma Man appointed you as forum administrator. Maintaining the forum is everyone's responsibility. Purifying the environment starts with me. Knight, what should I do? Mira Jane asked hurriedly. You can do whatever you want. Knight thought for a while and suggested. Just block a few posts and then publish a forum announcement. Well, I'll try. Mira Jane suddenly felt a great sense of responsibility, holding the power of life and death in the forum. She first selected a few posts with the most intense arguments, which had already been argued for thousands of floors. Locked. No user is allowed to reply. Then, she moved her fingers and quickly posted an announcement on the forum and pinned it to the top. The title directly quoted the prompt I saw before. Maintaining the forum is everyone's responsibility. Purifying the environment starts with me. Post content. Hello, Phantom Wizards. I am Mira Jane from Fairy Tale, and also the administrator of the forum. Meaningless quarrels will not bring anything. I hope everyone can stay calm. The forum is a place to exchange information, exchange magic, make friends, and chat, and should not pollute the environment with a large number of quarrel posts. Ogu City. The ruler of Phantom Branch. Tavern lobby. Quick, everyone, come to my post and continue to attack them. Haha, these fairies must be scared to death by us now, right? There are only a few of them, and we are phantoms in this bloodless war. Victory must belong to us phantoms. From now on, this is our territory. A wizard in a robe was in high spirits, loudly exaggerating the fighting spirit to increase the fighting will of the guild members. He couldn't help feeling a little proud. In fact, at the beginning, the fairies on the other side were still restrained and curious about their influx into the forum. The communication between the two sides was normal and harmonious. It was he who seized the opportunity and launched the holy war. At first, it was just a small spark, but it soon turned into a forum war. As more and more people participated, the fairies on the other side naturally retreated step by step. As long as he won this holy war, he could ask the president for credit. Maybe he could also get a 4 element. 4 elements? No, the 5th element. Haha. Thinking of the beauty, he couldn't help laughing. Suddenly, a female wizard shouted, Boz, the post can't be replied. What? The man named Boz was stunned for a moment and quickly tried it. Sure enough, it prompted, the post has been locked by the administrator. Where did this administrator come from? Oh no, other posts are also locked. Boz, look at the postmark pinned at the top. It's from Fairy Tale. Boz immediately clicked on the forum announcement, and after reading it, his face turned black. Damn, it's the fairy. The holy war can't beat them, but they actually use their authority. What a dog. Authority dog. Oh, I'm so angry. He posted a new post, and it was locked in a few seconds. What should I do now? Boss, the other side is not a martial arts ethics. Why is there a forum administrator? And he is from Fairy Tale. It's Mira Jane, the demon. Miss Mira Jane? Oh, I'm her fan. Me too. I used to see her in the magazine, Weekly Sorcerer. She was a famous model at that time. Shut up, traitors. Now we are in the holy war. Chaos. Everything is messed up. Boz was so angry that he was shaking all over. What can he do in the face of the authority dog? Reopen the announcement. The comments below have become the fairies' celebration declaration. Well done, Sister Mira. It's just in time, these stinking ghost bastards. We won. We are Fairy Tale. Seeing these messages, Boz felt terrible. Victory was in sight, but he was punished by the iron fist of justice. After reading the messages under the announcement bit by bit, he was so angry that he trembled all over. In the hot weather, his whole body was sweating and his hands and feet were cold. Can it be better? I can't stand it. Boz cursed the authority dog while typing quickly. After Mira Jane's series of actions, the first large-scale holy war on the internet came to an abrupt end. The forums were suddenly much quieter. Huh, is this good? Mira Jane smiled and looked at the congratulatory messages under the post, feeling a little embarrassed. I always feel that I have done something unethical. However, it is great to be able to maintain the forum. This is the second home of Fairy Tale, and it is also the new magic that Knight has developed with great difficulty. In the future, we must work hard to maintain the harmony of the forum. Suddenly, Mira Jane saw a curse message under the announcement. It cursed her as an administrator for being unfair, immoral, and partial to fairies. The words were very fierce. Even with Mira Jane's gentle temperament, she was also angry. How can I be partial? I just want the forum to return to normal. With her cheeks puffed up in anger, Mira Jane clicked on the account of the user, Bozy. She checked his posting records. Then she followed the clues and soon found that it was this guy who started the war. So it's you good, you're still cursing me. Mira Jane moved her little finger and clicked the mute button for the first time. After doing it, she suddenly felt an indescribable sense of relief. You have been banned for 30 days by the administrator traveler departure. What? Bozy stared blankly at the prompt in front of him. The administrator still has this kind of power? It's over. He can't post on the forum anymore. What fun does he have? Although it looks like 30 days, he believes that Mira Jane must hate him. Maybe after 30 days, she will do it again. Not being able to speak on the internet. Isn't that the same as being dead? I'm dead. Boz's brain buzzed, and he quickly clicked on Mira Jane's avatar and typed urgently. Because they are not friends, he can only send messages by adding friends again and attaching messages. I'm sorry, I shouldn't scold you. I'm wrong, Lady Mira Jane. I'm also responsible for maintaining the forum. Purifying the environment. Start with me. Please let me out. Kowtow.jpg 017 Conversation with Fire Dragon King. Ignore Mira Jane showed no mercy to Boz's plea. She refused to add him as a friend. At this time, the tavern was full of cheers of celebration. We won. Thanks to Sister Mira. Mira, get the wine. Let's start the party. A group of wizards seemed to have won a hard-fought battle, and everyone's face was filled with a smile from the heart. Knight was a little emotional. The atmosphere of the guild was really good, with a strong cohesion, and everyone regarded the guild as their home. I know, but please drink less. Mira Jane closed the forum and took the wine from the wine cabinet behind her. The guild tavern provides dining services and also sells wine. As the saying goes, the guild makes money and the guild spends it. Don't take a J home. Soon, the tavern became a lively banquet scene. Knight, come along too. Do you want me to treat you? Kana sat at a table in the corner of the guild, holding a large barrel of wine and drinking it, and did not forget to invite Knight. With her speech, others also wanted to recruit Knight to join. Yeah, Knight, don't you drink? Macau grinned. I'm afraid I'll accidentally tear down the guild after getting drunk. Knight waved his hand and stood up and said, I suddenly remembered that there are still kittens at home that haven't been fed. Run away. He was afraid that he would be forced to drink if he stayed. Mira Jane put her hands on her hips and said, You guys, don't teach Knight bad things too. Oh, the poster girl is angry defending Knight so much. A group of men were making a fuss. Something's going on. The girls in the guild were also making a fuss, and their big eyes were full of gossip. Mira Jane blushed a little, but she could do nothing about it. Really, a bunch of drunks. There's a river running through the city of Magnolia. After leaving the guild, Knight didn't know where to go, so he just took a walk along the river. The ring flashed from time to time, which was a friend request from Zekrian. This guy is really persistent. Knight thought about it, and finally approved his friend, then left him aside and temporarily ignored any private messages he sent. Walking and walking, they came to Magnolia Park. There was a tree in the center of the park, and two people were standing under the tree, fighting fiercely. SPD, fire idiot! Natsu and Gray punched and kicked each other, and the more they fought, the more excited they became. and it was a round-based system. After punching, you must stop and punch the other party. Then they hit each other with their foreheads to see whose head was harder. Knight, Happy was sitting on a park chair nearby watching the show. After seeing Knight's figure, he took the initiative to say hello. I was wondering why I didn't see you in the guild, but you are here. Knight smiled and said, you two have a great relationship. Love it's common. Happy nodded in approval. The two people who have a great relationship suddenly stopped their actions and looked at Knight. Knight, thank you for the ring yesterday. Gray was still shirtless, with his shirt thrown aside. It just so happens that I found a commission that is particularly suitable for you yesterday. Let's go to work together. No, I welcome you to treat me to a meal, but forget about the work. Knight opened his mouth, thinking about how to refuse this enthusiasm. Natsu stood up. No, I have decided to team up with Knight. Drooping eyes. Hanging eyes. You have no say. Who are you talking about with hanging eyes? Huh? Do you still want to fight? Then they really started fighting again. Knight never thought that one day he would encounter two men fighting for him. After thinking about it, he immediately changed the subject. By the way, Natsu, have you seen Igneel? Natsu, who was distracted by the words, was punched by Gray and hit directly against the tree in the park. I asked the old man, but the old man couldn't think of a good way. While answering, he waved his fist to fight back. I might have a way. Seeing that the topic was successfully changed, Knight immediately continued. What? Natsu's fist stopped in front of Gray, and he turned around and ran towards Knight in astonishment. Are you serious? What's wrong with your eyes? Are you sick? Gray panted, and also found that Knight's eyes were different from when they met yesterday. Beautiful eyes, as if there was a clear sky in his eyes. It's called six eyes, a kind of magic. Knight stretched out his hand and pressed on Natsu's chest. These eyes can let you see Igneel, maybe. As he spoke, six eyes saw through the flow of magic in Natsu's body. Not only that, in Natsu's body, there's also a particularly large group of magic. It just sleeps quietly. Knight's eyes condensed slightly, and suddenly, he disturbed Natsu's magic. The eyes went dark and bright. When the vision was restored, Knight seemed to be in a sea of magma. He stood on the lava as if walking on flat ground, clacking on the lava, and walked towards the center. It was a small, isolated island, on which lay a giant dragon with a fiery red body. Suddenly, the dragon opened its eyes. Nice to meet you, Igneel. Knight said regretfully, it seems that I failed. It turns out that I'm not very skilled and did not bring Natsu in. Who are you? Igneel spoke in human language and was extremely shocked. There are wizards who can use the flow of magic power to let part of their spirit enter Natsu's body and find it. This is incredible. Such a young wizard, whose mental power is not strong in perception, but whose fine control of magic power is incredible. This is the first time Igneel has seen such a monster in his long dragon life. I'm Knight, a wizard of fairy tale and a friend of Natsu. He knows you're inside him, and he's been trying to find a way to see you these past 2 days. I just wanted to help him, but I failed, sorry. Knight only got his 6 eyes last night, and he's not very proficient yet, so he can only do this much at the moment. Igneel was silent. It's not that it can't feel the outside world, it's just sleeping most of the time. It only uses magic to help Natsu when he's in danger. So, it doesn't know what happened these days. Who told him? Igneel frowned deeply. This kind of secret information, except for a few people involved, other people should not know. Tianlong? Only Grandine would meddle in other people's business. A man named Voldemort. The name is just a nickname, and his true identity is unknown. Voldemort. Demon. Igneel was angry, and the surrounding magma sea suddenly boiled. The demon created by Zerif? But I had never heard of it. Knight calmly ignored the roar of the magma, thought for a moment, and asked, it doesn't matter who told him. Natsu really wants to see you. Do you have anything I can tell him? Since you're here, bring a message. Igneel calmed down and slowly closed his eyes. Thank you, young wizard. You are the most unique wizard I have ever seen. Are your eyes some kind of magic? Practice it well. I can feel that your eyes have great power. It fell asleep while lying on its stomach. Tell Natsu for me. There will be a day when we will meet again. This day is not far away. Before that, practice well and live happily." Knight nodded, then goodbye, Fire Dragon King. After speaking, his body seemed to be a shadow reflected on the calm water, twisted with the fluctuations of the water, and gradually disappeared here. 018 new function, online commission, 4 flower request. That's it. Knight brought Ignir's words to Natsu. After listening, Natsu finally let go. "Understand. Thank you, Knight." Natsu touched his chest, as if he could sense Ignir in his body. After a while, he grinned and invited, "By the way, do you want to team up with me? I just don't want to work with you guys, so I changed the topic." Knight complained in his heart and was brought back by this kid again. Knight was a little helpless. Why do you want to team up with him? Can't he just take a good time? I still have to improve the internet. I don't have time recently. Otherwise, just team up with you too. Knight looked at Gray and diverted the blame. But as soon as he finished speaking, the system suddenly popped up. Task: improve the magic internet and develop a new function. Reward: 10,000 magic rings. Extra reward. Depends on the completion of the new function. The task was triggered, and it was a task with a high degree of freedom. Is it because I said I wanted to improve the internet? Knight was a little surprised. The reward this time was very tempting. The number of reward rings reached 10,000. If there were 10,000 new internet users, his magic power would increase much faster than it is now. New function. Knight quickly thought of a good idea and said to the two of them, "I suddenly have something important to do. Goodbye." Natsu and Gray looked at each other. "I team up with you." "Who wants to team up with you?" "I don't want to team up with you." ISBD. "It's absolutely impossible for me to team up with you." Flame idiot. Knight returned to the apartment and activated the magic programming function. He had already thought of what to do. Online commission. Move the guild's bulletin board to the internet. In the future, even if you're not in the guild, you can accept tasks at any time through the internet. If it is further improved, the client can also communicate with the guild directly through the magic network and submit the commission content. Knight was full of inspiration and his fingers flew. Isn't this just building a platform? First, use free expansion to attract users, and after becoming a giant, then make a two-way commission on the client and the guild. I can only be the richest man in the continent. Knight couldn't hold back his smile when he thought of the endless money in the future. Wizards work for guilds, and guilds work for platforms. Great, and it's very simple. It can be done in 2 days at most. Immersed in writing code, time passed unknowingly. At night, the knock on the door interrupted Knight. There was no need to open the door, and the 6 eyes had seen the flow of magic outside the door. "Come in, Lucy, it's not locked." Click. Lucy came in with a sumptuous dinner and saw Knight sitting at the tea table working seriously. "Knight, I prepared dinner for you. I don't know what you like to eat, so I made some of my usual favorites." "Thanks, I'm not picky." Knight happily took it, picked up the tableware, and ate it without hesitation. "I didn't expect that the eldest daughter of a rich family could cook delicious food." "Not bad, great cooking." Knight's face was full of praise. Lucy smiled happily after being praised. Knight was the first person to praise her cooking skills. When she was a child, she cooked for her father at home, but her father told her to get out, saying that cooking was the maid's job. What a jerk, Dad. Lucy sat down next to Knight while reminiscing about the past, looking at the programming tool with her big eyes curiously. "Knight, what is this?" "Well, I don't know how to explain it to you." Knight paused while eating, and now he asked him, how can he explain it so that someone who has never been exposed to programming can understand the programming language? "It's a magic tool for making the internet." After thinking for a while, he had to answer like this. "Oh, so what are you doing?" Lucy seemed to understand and asked subconsciously, "Sorry, if it's inconvenient to say." "It's not inconvenient. You will see it in 2 days, a new function." Knight briefly explained the online commission. Lucy looked surprised. "It sounds so convenient." "Genius. This person is definitely a genius. Damn it, the world is so unfair. Not only are you strong, handsome, but you are also smart." Knight rolled his eyes at her speechlessly. "You are the eldest daughter of the Heartfilia Chable. How dare you say this?" How do you know?" Lucy was shocked. She shouldn't have told her origins, right? Did she see Knight when she was a child, attending a cocktail party with her father? Could Knight be the eldest son of some family like herself? Lucy was full of doubts and kept guessing. Guess. No vis. But please keep it a secret from me, Knight. Please don't tell anyone. Lucy clasped her hands together and humbly asked, I ran away from home. If it gets out, my father will definitely ask me to go back after knowing it. Don't worry, I will keep it a secret. Knight nodded, but in his heart he thought, as long as you are active as a wizard, your father will know it soon. The head of the Heartfilia Chable is one of the richest people in the kingdom of Fiore and has too many sources of intelligence. Thank you, Knight. Lucy breathed a sigh of relief and suddenly remembered something and took out a folded commission from the pocket of her skirt. By the way, Knight, in the evening, Miss Mira recommended this task to me. It is very friendly to newcomers. Knight glanced. The content of the commission is very simple. Go to the mansion of a man named Duke Abar to steal a book called Sunrise. Destroy it, and you can get 200,000 J. It does look very friendly to newcomers. However, this should be the first task Lucy received in the plot. And I was impressed by this task. After all, Duke Abar's aesthetics are very unique. He doesn't like blonde beauties like Lucy, but has a special liking for ugly monsters. So, Knight looked at Lucy, and he saw a bad premonition in each other's eyes. We are all newcomers. Let's go to work together, Lucy suggested enthusiastically. Look, it says in the commission that Duke Abar is recruiting blonde maids. Sure enough, he wants to team up with him again. Knight's eyes twitched slightly. Natsu wanted to team up with him, Gray wanted to team up with him, and Lucy wanted to team up with him too. Is it true that Urza will team up with him when she comes back one day? I will apply for the maid job and attract the attention of Duke Abar, and you go to get the book. How about this idea? Lucy was overjoyed. This was her first mission, and she had to do it perfectly. Knight thought about how to refuse, but when he met the expectant eyes, he suddenly had a headache. You can go find Natsu, but Miss Mira recommended you to me. Lucy asked humbly again. She said Natsu's destructive power is too strong. Got it. It turned out that my reputation was too good. Knight didn't know whether to cry or laugh. I'm so sorry that I'm so popular. 019 Jalal was frightened and couldn't sleep all night after eating the dinner made by Lucy. Knight sent her away. The easy work of 3,000 J a day naturally includes washing dishes. Then see you tomorrow morning. Good night. Lucy said good night and went back to the next room with the dinner plate. Good night. After closing the door, Knight looked at the time. It was already past 10 o'clock in the evening. He simply didn't stay up late to write code. The function of online commission was not urgent. After taking a shower and lying on the bed, Knight suddenly remembered something. By the way, private message. In the dead of night, he remembered the reviewer who had been persistently trying to add him as a friend during the day. He logged onto the internet and opened the private message. Ziklian. Hello, Voldemort. I am reviewer Ziklian. Ziklian. I am very happy that you can accept my friend request. I have a few questions to ask you. Ziklian. First of all, it is about your reply in the forum. The dragon that disappeared from the world hides in the body of the dragon slayer. Is this true? Ziklian. Secondly, I am very curious about your identity. And you're quite polite. Knight looked at the time of sending the private message, which was this afternoon. Probably he sent it immediately after accepting the other party's friend request. After thinking for a while, Knight typed it casually. Voldemort, what does it have to do with me, whether you believe the information shared by the magic network or not? Knight only told part of the truth. The only untrue thing is that the dragon disappeared on July 7th, X777. The rest is true, including the first generation of Dragon Slayer. Dragon Slayer is also simply divided into 3 types according to the different ways of obtaining Dragon Slayer magic. The first generation, taught by the dragon himself, such as Natsu. The second generation, wizards who have magic crystals containing Dragon Slayer magic embedded in their bodies, such as Fairy Tail's S-Class wizard Laxus. The third generation, possessing both of the above points. Of course, there are actually 4th and 5th generations. Voldemort, as for your question about my true identity, what if you know it? What if I don't know it? Jalal Fernandes. At the end, Knight replied with one more sentence. Still want to expose my vest? I'll let you reveal your identity first. After doing all this, Knight was in a much happier mood and immediately turned off the internet. Go to sleep. Meanwhile, Magic Council, headquarters, a spacious study room. The magic crystal lamp releases soft light, dispelling the darkness of the night. Zikrian sat behind the desk, holding a magic guide, quietly flipping through it. After spending 1 million J to buy a ring from Makarov, he became very concerned about internet magic after using it himself. He spent the whole day looking up information. Isn't it ancient magic? Closing the book, Zikrian frowned slightly. Is this kind of magic really created in modern times? In his opinion, the magic internet, referred to as the magic network, has refined the advantages of several types of magic, such as ancient documents, or Speaker Crawford Shim's super ancient documents. They're all search-type magic, but there is a similar library in the magic network, and the search speed is very fast, and it does not even require the user's magic power. Only points are enough. This is too incredible. That is to say, the library currently uploads fewer books. If all the books on the entire continent are uploaded to the magic network, then is there any meaning for ancient book magic and super ancient book magic? Where are these book materials stored after they are uploaded? Ziklian was puzzled. He could not understand the principle of this magic, which overturned his understanding of the basics of magic. I really want to meet the creator of this magic, the knight of fairy tale, Ziklian murmured. Suddenly, the ring on his right hand flashed a faint white light. Ziklian was startled and immediately opened the magic network, and a private message popped up. It was a reply from mysterious Voldemort. During the day, he persistently added the other party as a friend, and now he was finally moved by his sincerity. However, when he saw the content of the private message, he was instantly horrified. A chill from the spinal cord rushed straight to the brain. Ziklian's pupils suddenly shrank due to shock, and his attention was firmly attracted by the last sentence. Jalal Fernandez. Impossible. Who is this person? He got up from a chair, and cold sweat broke out on his back. No, calm down. Maybe it's a misunderstanding. Ziklian took a deep breath, forced himself to calm down, and quickly replied. Ziklian. Jalal? Are you talking about my twin brother? Ziklian. We look exactly the same and are often misunderstood. Ziklian. I've been looking for him. If you know where he is, please tell me. I'll be grateful. After typing, Ziklian sat back down, as if all his strength had been drained away. He clasped his hands together and rested his chin, silently waiting for a reply. Then, it was dawn. Damn it. Bang. Ziklian, who had been waiting all night, pounded the table angrily. Because of the tension of staying up late, bloodshot appeared in his eyes. However, the anger in his heart could not be vented to the outside world. He did not give up and typed again. Ziklian. Good morning, Mr. Voldemort. If you are a lady, please forgive my impoliteness. Ziklian. I just woke up and found that you haven't replied yet. Please tell me about my brother. Ziklian. Please reply if you see it. Early in the morning. After Knight woke up, he stretched comfortably. He opened the curtains to let the sunlight into the room, opened the window, and breathed in fresh air. Another beautiful day. People really shouldn't stay up late. Knight walked into the bathroom with a relaxed mood and started to wash. While brushing his teeth, he opened the magic network and found that Zikrian had sent another private message. After reading it, he couldn't help laughing. Are you panicking? You've been exposed, but you're still pretending to me to maintain your persona. Brushing teeth with one hand and replying with the other. Voldemort. I advise you to give up as soon as possible, Jalal. Voldemort. Your system plan can't succeed. Zeref is alive and well. Voldemort. If he knew that you tried every means to resurrect him, he might slap you to death. Voldemort. Young man, the water in the magic world is very deep. You can't control it. I advise you to surrender. After teasing him casually, Knight chuckled and ignored him. Going out, he met Lucy. You haven't been waiting for me at the door? Knight said in surprise. No, it's a coincidence. Lucy denied it flatly. Knight, let's go. It's time to complete the commission today. 200,000 J. You don't want me to be unable to pay the debt, right? Is this how you use the sentence pattern of you don't want to? Besides, if you can't pay it back, Don't you still have your father to back you up? Knight complained in his heart and took the lead. I'm afraid of you. This is just one time, and it won't happen again. He understood Makarov's feelings at the time. What are you talking about? We'll be a team from now on. Lucy laughed and followed quickly. She was determined to hold Knight as her thigh. 020 The first mission with Lucy, the commission mission, was held at the Helos Gate. This place is not far from Magnolia. Knight hired a carriage and was expected to arrive in 2 hours. Of course, the money was paid by Lucy. She was already poor, and she became even poorer. She shed tears of poverty while sitting in the carriage. At least the fare can be shared equally. Then I'll go. Knight opened the programming tool and was about to code. Hearing this, he made a considerate proposal. No, I'll pay it. Please stay. Lord Knight. Lucy quickly grabbed Knight's arm and said firmly, Then what about the commission reward? Do you think I will take it all? Knight said while writing code. Do you still want to keep it all for yourself? Don't worry, I'll give you at least 10%. That's only 20,000 J. Aren't we companions? Half each. Teasing the rich lady, Knight couldn't help laughing. Okay, but from now on, don't talk, I have to concentrate. Yes. Lucy sat upright and complained about Knight in her heart, a devil. For a while, Knight was coding seriously, not paying attention to anything outside. Lucy opened the curtain of the carriage and admired the scenery along the way. Seeing the beautiful scenery, she wanted to invite Knight to watch it together. But after seeing Knight so focused, she closed her mouth silently. What an amazing concentration. Lucy thought in her heart. A man who worked hard reminded her of her father. So, she looked at Knight quietly next, although I couldn't understand. Not long after, the carriage arrived at the Shiloh store. Knight stopped his work and looked sideways. Lucy actually fell asleep on his shoulder. We're here, Lucy. After waking up the people, Knight got off the carriage first. Lucy rubbed her eyes and said, Sorry, you didn't let me talk, and I fell asleep accidentally. Blame me. Thank you for your shoulder. Lucy giggled and got off the carriage. The two walked into the city, which was even smaller than Magnolia. In Knight's opinion, this was a small town in the style of medieval Europe. The whole town was the territory of the Duke of Abar.
No more novels? Take part in the voting. The most requested novels and those with the most likes will be chosen for publication on unle.audiobooks.com. There, I can upload as much as I want without the risk of receiving a strike. Our 18 novels and other content that exceed what is morally acceptable are only published on Patreon or the free novels page. Remember, the site is funded by donations on Ko-fi and Patreon memberships.